What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Wardlow here.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1. Again. Goddamn, dude. When I give a virtual background, it just keeps fucking with Marv, dude, because he's green. On his birthday, dude, of all days, to fuck with Marv. He's like a fucking less than hologram. God. What? Forget it, man. It's only episode 1. We'll figure it out in episode 2, probably. With me today, hanging, banging. We got Bishop. What's going on, dude?
Bang, 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 bang. R.I.P. John Witherspoon, man.
Dude, on his fucking birthday. Can you believe that shit?
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. And fun fact, today, Marv shares a birthday with one of my 5 dogs, Grizzly. Grizzly is, yeah,
Grizzly dog?
he is, yeah, he was born with a massive chest, and all of our dogs except for one they have a double E at the end of their name. So he looked like a little grizzly bear. So instead of a Y at the end of grizzly, we did grizzly chest with the double E. Yeah, the big old chest. He looked like grizzly bear. So we called him Grizzly. Yeah. The one who doesn't have a double E, his name is Gizmo for obvious reasons.
You could put it in the front.
No.
Gizmo.
No, we could have. We could have. But no,
Gizmo,
we just
dude.
named him. Yeah, we just named him Gizmo because he looks like Stripe. So
Yeah.
no, he looks like Gizmo from what the fuck, Gremlins. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's Grizzly's birthday today. So shouts to Grizzly, shouts to Marv. Happy effing birthdays.
Yeah, it's a good time, dude. It's a good time to have a birthday. We're all semi-settled in over here. We did the big move, so we've been out. Dive Bar's been under renovations. More renovations to come, I think. So we'll see. Yeah, I think there's going to be a few changes across a few things. So, Bishop, it's been a minute. What's in your glass? What are you drinking?
I'm not drinking a glass because mine comes in a can. Little Broken Skull IPA
Oh yeah.
with the
yeah.
marshmallow. At TW Takes Podcast on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck it is. twtakes.podcast.com. All your audio platforms to hear my ever occasional podcast. But, you know, life's busy and podcasts are fun.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's not a bad time to just like hang. You know.
little Broken Skull IPA for you, brother.
You know, I'm having a. I just opened it the other day. Just had one, but I decided to try it. Traveler whiskey. You heard about this one? It's a new one.
I have not.
It's Chris Stapleton,
Okay.
musician and co-founder, is in works with basically the Buffalo Trace distillers.
Okay.
And so he made his own whiskey, and I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I think it was him on Saturday Night Live where he was talking about it a little bit, and saw some commercials, and he was
Yeah.
really good on there. That I went, you know what, I want to try it, and it's really good, dude. I'll be honest. I know I've had Buffalo Trace a few times on the show. I'm really like 50-50 on it. It's a lot harsher than I think it needs to be most of the time, and most
And
of the
it's too
Buffalo
sweet.
Trace distiller. I don't think Buffalo Trace is sweet at all. I think it's butane-y.
Well, once you get to me, like, so like I like a body whiskey. I like something that has like flavor on it. That butane, yeah, but even when you cool it down, if you throw cubes in Buffalo Trace, I still think it tastes too much like corn. I don't think it pulls anything out of barrels. But that's just my opinion.
Did you try the Brothers Bond?
Yeah, it's incredible.
You like
it's
it?
So good, so good.
It's just funny you say that because the first thing I said when I tasted it, when I first tried it, I'd been on keto for like a year and a half at the time, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is like a glass of sweet corn."
It's weird, man. Our palates are so different.
I know
we pick up different things. We pick up different
on the same thing, though. I mean, you love
yeah.
Brothers Bond for reasons that I don't, and I love it for the other reasons.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that the Traveler, I did have it the other day for the first time, and I actually do like it a lot. I think it's very smooth, so you know it's worth a shot at some point.
Is it smooth as Tennessee whiskey?
Is that his song? Is that his song?
It's a Chris Stapleton song. Yeah.
He did that one. That's him. Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's about fucking time, dude.
Yeah, it's
He's
the
overdue.
song is smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. Good song.
I heard Wayne Brady singing on The Masked Singer, and I was like, this is one of the most incredible things I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, Wayne Brady's so good, dude.
But cheers, man. You know, you sip without toasting, but that's cool. So cheers.
Yeah, I said, you know, yeah, that's what was in my glass. Cheers. L'chaim. Dude, all sorts of stuff's been going on. I don't know if you want to talk about anything up front specifically, or if you just want to start talking wrestling because it's been a minute.
I mean, it's your show, but I mean, we talked right after the Uncle Howdy thing, you know, and we almost hopped on then, and we just had a little timing conflict. But as the days went on, since we didn't get together, I couldn't let more days go by, you know, and Bray is something that has brought us closer together during this whole podcasting journey. So I figured whether you want to start with that and move on to other things or get into some things and then talk about that, totally up to you. But, you know, I got opinions about everything. Some are terrible wrestling takes. Most of them aren't, though.
Dude, so SmackDown's happening right now as we record this, which is funny because I don't know if either of you are you able to watch it live when it's on live? Oh, I can't. I have to watch it later. But so I just opened up the WWE app just to, not the app. They used to have the app, but their Instagram. I'm not looking forward to a lot of this, dude. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman all seem to be wrapped up in a singular story now, and fuck off. I mean, it's good for you. It's a whole segment that's just dedicated to what you don't want to see anyways.
Right.
So you only have to miss one segment. So I get to miss multiple segments. But yeah, and then it looks like Drew McIntyre. I get it, I guess, but like,
so I saw
production a few times, right?
Yeah.
one of the things that's going on. Oh, Digi says, "Look at you guys. Digi, you want a link? You can come in." Um, they're starting to do a lot of stuff off camera.
Yeah.
They're starting to try and get real clever with some shit, and we'll get into the why it's Sic6 and all that stuff because that was it was more to it. But they had Drew McIntyre beat the shit out of CM Punk and make him bloody, all off camera. So they come back and there's red on his hands and there's red over here, and then he carries them. And I mean, I know that it's smart because you reduce the physicality and the potential for injury, especially with an idiot like CM Punk who's constantly injured. But I don't know. Like some of the production stuff they've done, I think is really spectacular and it's very cinematic. Some of it, I think they're going almost too cinematic, where it's like now you're getting into like movie props, and now are you using fake blood? And sometimes that's okay, but you're starting to use it a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I saw. So the only takeaway I had from the CM Punk Drew segment, number one, it's a great use of saying Drew quit, right? Like, it's a good ploy to get CM Punk to show up somewhere. And it being in Chicago, cool. So that whole thing about him not being able to get the upper hand on CM Punk, he finally did it. Cool with that. Number two, as Drew is carrying CM Punk over his shoulder and CM Punk is just fucking limp dick the whole way, I just look at it and I go, well, this is CM Punk giving himself to Drew in this situation, and that's not something we're familiar with. That's so true. So again, cool with that. I will criticize everything that sucks in front of my face all day long. Okay. It sounds like I judge blowjob contests.
But do you?
No, I don't.
Would you?
Possibly.
Yeah. It's on the table.
It'd be hard to judge and receive at the same time. I think I'd rather be a recipient than a judge. Anyway, long story short, the fact that I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. So at least it's not just CM Punk being snarky and swarmy the whole time. I get what you're saying about the effects and things like that, but storyline wise, at least Drew got a one up. The only thing I don't like is that shit that happened at Clash at the Castle really got zero heat. It was a really cool angle. It was a good swerve, if you will, to have CM Punk be the haha, fucked you over as a ref. But the pop wasn't that loud. For as much as they were singing all night long, for as much as you can hear the crowd, so the heat really isn't there. But this little wrinkle in the story where Drew finally gets a one up, it's like, all right, cool. So maybe Drew might win this thing. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I just didn't think it all sucked, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't love the CM Punk angle in there. I thought it made sense, but I also thought it made so much sense that it wasn't a surprise at all.
Agreed.
Which, sometimes is okay.
Yeah. It works like that. I thought it worked that way, but the actual pop of the event didn't happen. They were nobody was like, "Oh my God, CM Punk fucked over Drew." You know what I mean? That's what it should have got, and it just didn't.
Even went back to Punk, who was being hugged by the fans, and he even said loud enough for the mic to pick up, I thought I was gonna get attacked out here. I thought I was gonna have to hide away. And he's like, but you don't. You're just out there pandering to the fans again.
Right.
Which is also fine, but at the same time, like you said, at this point, CM Punk continuously screws over Drew. If we actually get this match going and Drew loses, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But also, it's going to be CM Punk's first singles match back.
Right.
Do you really have him eat a loss immediately?
Yeah.
As much as the story is a good one, I do think it's they're kind of painting themselves in a corner here where it's almost going to be lose-lose. Like you said, CM Punk's not picking up the heat that I think that they wanted him to. I think that Drew McIntyre is hot right now. How do you get out of this one? I mean, I don't know. And even then, like you said, yeah, Punk gave over to Drew in that little segment. I'm just saying that it's another time we keep getting these off-screen blood things.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens came stumbling out for the back, blood on his head. Rock and Cody in the back. Cody suddenly has blood on his head once the camera cuts away and he's by himself for long enough, right?
His match with AJ, same thing. Cody's match with AJ. Yeah.
Yeah. Goes away, comes back, blood.
Yeah.
The Wyatt 6. Cut to the back, there's blood. This one, cut to the back, CM Punk is bloody. It just seems a lot of use of prop blood. And I don't want to say that people need to blade themselves because I don't think they do. What I am saying is that I do think WWE is overusing blood in scenarios where it's not necessary and is coming off a little bit phony. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. As you're talking, it's something that we talk about on this show a lot. That popped in my head. Like when you can feel the authenticity in wrestling, characters, performance, wrestling itself, that's when you get sucked in. What you're talking about is you're absolutely noticing the lack of authenticity in the blood. You know, the its makeup, its staging. Like you can go along for the story, but if it looks too fake, you're just not going to buy in. So the lack of authenticity in these scenes, it's starting to become completely transparent. Even the missus, she goes, "Yeah, they used a lot of makeup on this one, huh?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
with the CM Punk one,
Yeah. And too much, too often. So, I mean, if it
Yeah,
was like a standalone thing, when it
yeah,
happened with KO by itself, I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's smart. That's good. Let's do that. And then the other things happen, and you kind of go, all right, yeah, that works. Okay, that works. And at this point, they cut to Drew in the back with CM Punk on the ground. I'm like,
right,
again, we're missing physicality. Like, I know that there's maybe a fine line between the cameras being everywhere all at once and missing stuff because they're running the show. They can't be filming everywhere all at once, right? Like, but at the same time, if you're cutting to Roman Reigns as he's having a private conversation with the wise man where the cameras aren't supposed to be there, and then next week everyone pretends like they didn't hear the conversation we all saw on TV, then you're already blurring lines of where cameras ought to be. They've done it a few times even where I'm trying to remember who it was, but I remember there was an interview going on and all of a sudden chaos. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to see what's going on over here. That is to me a little bit more believable or just authentic in a way that comes off like,
yeah,
okay, chaos going on. But this constant, something's going on in the back. And oh my God, he comes running out. Just the constant use of the fake blood to me is going, then is the blood necessary if we're constantly having to figure out a way to sneak it in? Like, I don't know. It's all right. I think they're towing the line though. And I think that it could get to a point where just like, here we go again.
right, right. That's fair. That's
I
fair.
definitely don't want them cutting themselves. Like,
Agreed. 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 No,
yeah.
I mean, we talk about it with everything, whether it's blood or super kicks, right? Like everything has to be done the right amount of times, the right way for the right reason. I mean, it's performance art, right? Like,
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as a joke. You're not going to tell the same joke over and over again. Like, all right, we're tired of the fucking knock knock jokes. Like, let's do something. So yeah, I think it all lies in the same vein.
Yeah. It's that whole thing. Something's going on apparently with LA Knight. I don't know. Digi in the chat says, so we called Jacob Fatu. I have no idea what he's talking about. Are you aware of what he's talking about? Does that mean Jacob finally made his debut?
Well, if Jacob Fatu made his debut, nobody called it because everybody said it was going to happen months ago. So, like, you don't call it every week and go, see, I called it was going to happen. Yes,
True.
everyone said it was going to happen. So by the time he shows up, yeah, he showed up. God, he looks jacked too. And he splashed Cody through the top rope or from the top rope through the table. He looks
Looks
awesome.
Does he? Yeah,
Yeah, he looks nice and trim. Yeah, good for
but I
him. He
would
was
say,
big.
really? Oh,
He used to be like real thick.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got to find this video now because
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll DM it to you.
it's not on their Instagram. It doesn't look like.
Go on Twitter, the real one.
I fucking hate
Yeah, I mean everybody from
Um,
the second the bloodline split, or the second there was dissension. Honestly, before God even came over,
Yep.
Jacob Fatu was the first one everybody wanted in.
We've
So
been
it's
talking
not.
about Jacob Fatu since the Usos joined the
Yeah,
bloodline.
yeah.
We've been saying, I hope they get Jacob
So
Fatu. So yeah, I would agree with you that
yeah,
no one's
yeah.
called it.
No one's called it because everyone said it was going to happen for the last 2 years doesn't mean that you called it. Like, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Digi. Like, I get it. Like, it's the right thing to say because he's a fantastic talent who has never been in WWE and is fucking related to the bloodline. Like, he needs to be there, but now he's there. Did you see the thing on Twitter? He looks great.
Pulling it up right now. So I also want to see this clip later. This first thing that popped up in my feed was Justin Timberlake is showing up at a concert right after that DUI.
Nice.
looking all fucked up. Pretty fucking cool. I love stuff like that. Oh shit! Yeah, he's fucking big.
Yeah.
You know what though? It was a little weird. I think it works, but like my fear was that if he lost too much weight, he wouldn't look as imposing.
Nah,
You know
but
what I
them
mean?
shoulders and neck though, he did it right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he did it right.
He has lost a lot of weight though,
Yep.
which also explains why we haven't seen him on the fucking indies or doing anything for almost a year.
You would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Get
Yeah, you
bigger,
would
dude.
think
Get
so.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's fucking talented, man. So
Dude, he's
I mean, not to broad stroke it, but they all are. That the family lineage exists for a reason. They are fucking talented, but he is one of the best. And seeing him live and watching some MLW stuff, like he's got it. He's definitely got it.
Yeah, and then one more thing on the whole, like we all called it, as soon as they brought in Solo, everyone's all like, "Oh, that part should have been for Jacob. That's gotta be for Jacob. Jacob
Yeah,
should have been doing this stuff this whole time."
yeah.
So, like you said, yeah, it's been like fucking.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
2 years of everyone saying, "When are we gonna get Jacob?" So yeah, as much as I love Digi and as much as we all want to say that we're on the ball about stuff, everyone's been saying Jacob Tuesday
Yeah.
for fucking 2 years, dude. So.
Oh,
I'm gonna
man,
give zero people in also defense of Digi. I'll give zero credit
Zero
to
people.
absolute anyone. There is no one I'm gonna say, well, they
Yes,
got that one right.
You're right. Because you know what? You're right. The Clash at the Castle where Drew got fucked over, everyone thought it was gonna be Jacob Fatu, and it was Solo. So yeah. It's been that long, for at least that long. But I mean, I'm sure if you can do some type of AI thing on your show, you can tell when we said it for the first time.
Yeah. What is a little crazy, and it's not bad, but he came in to help Solo. And there was a lot of theories back and forth on when we get him, who's he going to be on the side of? Is he going to show up with Roman to help Roman take back the thing and all that? So it is interesting that it's just another fucking monster that Solo's bringing in. Solo's all like, "You guys thought I was a jerk. You should see the rest of my family."
Right? I tell you this too, like, again, I can't, I don't fantasy book, but when you look at the bloodline, and I've said this from the beginning of Roman not being there, there's every bit of the chance that Roman is communicating with Solo to get this done, and he's pissed off at Paul Heyman in some way, right? But if you look at the numbers now with Jacob there, it's 4-on-3 with who we know about, right? It's if you want to go with the Civil War aspect, right? It's God, Solo, and Jacob versus Roman and the Usos.
No.
Who's the fourth on that side? Like just strict bloodline. Why would you get Hikuleo? You know what I mean? Like Haku's other kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
and I'm not
he's
saying that
pretty good,
well, he's all right. He's a taller Samoan as opposed to a thicker Samoan, like these guys are. So, I mean, and there's chances to bring other people in. Shouts to Justin. What's up?
just in time. Cheers to Justin. Also, either one of you guys, or even Winter, if you want, anybody who wants a link, let me know. I'll link you. We'd be part of this too. We're just shooting the shit for a while. I don't even have like a format thing. I barely even have results up. We're just gonna go back and forth for a while and talk wrestling, just the way that the bar's got to be.
But yeah, it'd be great to see everything done in that fantasy booked way that people are talking, as long as it stays bloodline. So unless The Rock. Unless it's Rock, Roman, and the Usos versus these guys. And that'd be fucking crazy. That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that it is Solo calling the shots, is Rock calling the shots, is Roman calling the shots. That's kind of the off-air.
I was gonna say, here's another question. There was a time, it might have been on episode 1. It was definitely on one of my episodes, but definitely in episode 1, where we were talking about the bloodline. And of course, I say it in jest about fantasy booking, but I definitely don't like to do it. But there was a moment during the bloodline where it's like, it's not even worth fantasy booking. Just let it happen.
Yep.
And I kind of think that's what's happening here too. Like, yes, you can fantasy book it out because it does feel limited, but also we truly don't know what's going on. I haven't been fully checked in anyway because I've just been so fucking busy. You know, working a ton. So I haven't had the opportunity. But when I look at it and I see what's going on, the one thing I definitely know is that I don't know where they're going. So I think just letting it happen will give us the purest form of what this bloodline could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we just said, we've been fantasy booking Jacob Fatu for 2 years, and he finally showed up. So now that they decided to do it and he decided to do it, now it's time for them to tell us the story that brings Jacob in. Because he's going to rise to the top of this thing real quick.
He's impressive. I just wonder, is he less impressive at a smaller weight? Because how much of the impression, like look at Sam Stackhouse.
Yeah.
Dude's a metric ton, does a moonsault. People's minds are blown because of the visual that we're getting, right? It's not because the moonsault is such a difficult move to pull off. I mean, he did it again, and he's got like pro shots where he fucking takes what's the little sunset flip thing that he lets the little guys do on him?
Code Red.
The Code Red. He did it again with Fuego del Sol. And I'm like, dude, that dude's a national jobber. He's one of the highest profile jobbers out there. And no one likes him because he wins. And you're just letting him flip your massive ass around? Come on. It's the one thing he does. I'm so like, dude, you give too much. But you also wonder, like, it's not impressive to see Adam Cole do it. He's just a small guy, right?
Right.
How much of what we saw Jacob Fatu do before he got here? Again, I'm not trying to talk shit on Jacob. He's one of my favorites for a long time. And I've met him. He's really nice. But how much did we see him and equate his size to what he was doing, and how much of that's going to equate identically over? Because he's still really big and he still looks like a dude you do not want to meet in the back alley who looks mad at you. You know what I mean? He's not a dude you want to say, come here, I want to talk to you. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
He's huge.
No, it's like Rikishi's super kick, right? Rikishi looked like he was putting a Ford F-150 on your chin, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you're saying. Like a moonsault from Vader looks way crazier, or Bam Bam Bigelow look way crazier than anyone else who would do it because of the size. So it's possible, but I'll tell you what, regardless, the athleticism is still there. So even if he has to tailor his moveset to his new athleticism, I'm sure everyone's going to be just fine with what he does.
Oh, he's going to do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, because I'm even watching the splash
that
he did on Cody, and I'm watching it like on repeat and stuff, and I go, yeah, that looks scary. Does it look as scary as it looked when I saw him in GCW?
It's fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, not knocking him. He's a different type of scary now.
Yeah.
And
actually, I think I was wearing this shirt when I saw him.
Yeah.
I think I was wearing the pink one when I saw him. And he did his moonsault right down the barrel of my camera. Yeah, it's very fair. It's very fair. Very fair.
I just wonder. And again, it's not that it's like, you better get fat. He's a different type of scary.
Tell you what, he's ours now. He's ours.
Dude, I was gonna say, we don't got to harp on it very long.
Right.
But AEW is not looking like they're in a good spot.
No.
Actually, I just saw, I don't even know if this is real or not, but it just popped up in my feed. AEW viewership for Dynamite this past Wednesday was 502,000, the lowest in the history of all of AEW.
Wow.
But it's just crazy. Like, you've got GOD, which again, they were not setting the world on fire in NJPW. They just weren't.
Not anymore. Their run was about 3-4 years ago at their peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked them. I don't remember ever thinking like being blown away by them. I just remember liking them because I saw them a few times on Wrestle Kingdoms or whatever, and I was like, you know what, they're pretty solid. But yeah, they weren't blowing anybody away. You got Solo. I mean, you got you got all the TNA stuff they're doing over there in NXT right now. who possibly is trying to go to AEW? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna even try to pretend that Mercedes not there because she thought she could get the highest check in the company?
Right.
I know. Go ahead.
No, and she was completely. I mean, not that she was wrong, because I'm sure she got a big check, but her earning potential had to be way higher with WWE.
Yo,
I think so too, but I do think that she's the type where I believe she wanted top guy money. I want to be the highest paid woman here. And I don't think you can go into a WWE office and say that and have it work. I do think you can go into Tony's office and say that and have it work.
Right.
What the fuck is
Right.
this? What the hell is
Oh
this?
my goodness.
I'm just like Joe Hendry. You say my name and I appear. Okay.
Nobody said your name. No one said your name. No one said it. We literally offered it to everyone but you.
But you're on my spot right now. So, I've got to
It
come.
is Friday, not Thursday.
We don't do Thursday anymore.
We
don't.
Still drinking. So pretty.
Thank you. Oh my God.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
It's been a minute with all four of us in the same space, man.
That's true.
Driving, Amanda?
No. Why? The wind?
Her fans going, she's driving down the road on us.
No.
You have more fans than I do.
I'm so happy to be here.
I should get paparazzi lights, the whole thing. That'd be, too much. That's not.
She's gone Hollywood. She's got her own little wind machine. She's gonna throw some glitter out.
No, if I get fucking.
She's got an entrance. She's got an entrance. You turn on the camera, the wind's blowing in her hair.
Yeah.
See, people, if you're listening to this on audio, this is why you have to watch video. I'm just saying.
Every time.
Every time. Come on now.
I don't think there's been an audio version of this show in 6
forever.
months.
Yeah.
We shut that down for a reason. It'll be
I know. It'll come back. I'm just trying to drum it up so people think they're missing something, which they might not be.
So, since it's been a minute, Bishop, we've missed you in parting. Black Velvet, cheers, my man.
Cheers.
Coke with no ice, or regular Coke. And I have soju. Now I'm gonna go bring it out because Bishop's here. So.
Oh yeah, she's been saving that just for you.
No, I have a lot of soju. I've been drinking a lot.
Fucking with you, God.
I'm watching a clip of Jacob and Hammerstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even at that point, he wasn't like
the rematch,
Not
or the
much.
third
I'm
match
watching
like
a
year
super
ago?
clip of some of his stuff like that. He wasn't as wide as Solo was coming in. He had a big arms and chest then too. So I think he's just refined his look.
He has been for the last.
I don't know why I was remembering him so much bigger than that.
It's like with AJ Styles, he goes off for about 6 months, come back looking like he ate the old AJ Styles to be the new one.
And he was with Juicy Fatu training the Oasis Pro students. So he's been doing that for the last 7-8 months or so.
How's Juicy doing, man?
Juicy's doing fucking great. Willis can tell you more about Juicy because Willis was
broadcast.
Did you see the picture of Cameron Grimes?
Yeah, I did.
No, he's
clean shaven.
My friend she's a huge fan. She was like, "Who is this man?" I go, "I don't know." He was up here doing most. So
I had to get told. I was like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
Yeah, I don't know what that was. At first, I'm like, "Oh." I don't know what was worse, them shaving him on NXT and he had no body hair, or this. I think this is worse.
This is way worse, dude.
Yeah,
because he's not getting paid. At least he was getting paid by NXT to get shaved.
I don't know why he just. Well, I don't know where he thought.
Dude, and then he put out that tour thing of here's every promotion I'm going to be at, acting like we all know where those are. None of them listed locations, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! Put states in there at least."
You know what? Because it's if you know, then you know. Okay. But even me, who thinks I know, only know the locations of 2. But one of them is a crapshoot because it could be, and that's the prestige one. But I have a bone to pick with them anyway. But anything that's at Deadlock Pro or whatever, that's all going to be Chicago, Logan Square.
Yeah, but like you said, Prestige is in several different locations.
Yeah.
How many? I just moved to Albuquerque. I had to Google place and I found one. I can't imagine it's the only one around. One of those could have been out here and I wouldn't even know. One of them could be in Santa Fe and I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Unless it says the name, like Arizona Championship Wrestling, I go, I bet you it's in Arizona, but is it northern or southern? You know what I mean?
So,
like,
is
help
it-
someone out, try to figure out how to see you.
Okay, if
I
it says
I
Defy,
almost tweeted right back at him saying, like, dude, this is a lot of fucking question marks, man. Start filling in cities in here.
well, you know, if it said like Defy, obviously that's an obvious one. You know, if it says GCW in a date, that's an obvious one. You should go look. I know there wasn't any GCW. So
GCW's all over the fucking place too, though.
let me tell you.
But he would just
Speaking
put
of
GCW. Fuck that means.
Well, let me tell you, okay, Mister, you moved to New Mexico now, and you know who was the fucking man of the hour over in fucking GCW this last weekend? Goddamn Sam Stackhouse.
Yeah.
Two matches, okay, 2, and everyone loved him. They loved him in LA, and seems like he's probably going to get a permanent spot on the roster. So Sam Stackhouse.
He's got an upcoming in Texas that is going to be working a main event for 2-day in Texas.
He was in Albuquerque a month before I moved here, and in Arizona a month after I moved away.
You need to think you don't like him.
Hey, he's avoiding you.
He's getting big. I don't know who's more big league now, you or him.
Dude, fucking Heyman asked CM Punk to take him with. If fucking Heyman leaves the bloodline to go be CM Punk's little bitch again, it's gonna be fucking devastating, dude.
He doesn't need that.
Devastating, but I could also see like a Paul Heyman on a pole match. Have him
You'd be
fight
the
him.
only one watching it.
I probably would. Out of like a car wreck, I would
go on
watch.
a forklift, just like Judy Bagwell.
Oh
No,
man,
I don't know. I got no use for CM Punk anyway. So the best thing he did was tonight when he was slumped over Drew's shoulders.
Yeah.
which
Other than that,
I think it was a good way to kind of work Drew back into some decent programming at the, it's fucking Chicago. We know who's a heel in Chicago now. It's no question.
Yeah. Again, I think everything Drew's been doing has been stellar on it, and CM Punk has been
phoning it in.
I don't even know why I'm saying phoning it in. It's just not been fucking good.
Phil is Phil. He never was any good. This proves me right every time.
I think, having watched the guy when he was, clean shaven, Drew McIntyre to, Drew Galloway and back, he's come a long way from where he was. And he is carrying that whole feud on his back, uphill both ways in the snow.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I think the best parts of the feud come out of when Drew has to deal with something Punk says, because everything Punk says sounds the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or borderline like cancelable. So he's
he's
and
fucking tone deaf and a fucking. And everything he says comes off such like that whole promo he did in AEW. Tell me when I'm lying.
Yeah.
Everyone's all like, so much of what you're saying is clearly a lie. We know more now than ever. Like, you can't just go out there and say, hey, but am I telling the truth? No. Like, it was the weirdest thing. He was so confident in it. And he does the same shit here now. When he said that Drew didn't have the fucking gonads to face him face to face after he ran away from Drew, I was like, you gotta be fucking out of your mind, dude. Oh, Elliot is in the chat too. Cheers to him. Cheers to Broadcast.
Cheers, Joe. And that brings me to something is, the cold open the night for SmackDown was long-winded. Paul Heyman was pretty much 90% of the saving grace, right? You look at what Drew did Monday night. He said barely 5 words and had way better reaction, was far more believable.
Yeah.
He was called the future of the business. There's no doubt it's there. They just need to get rid of people that are going to waste the fucking space and time.
Yeah. But I would say there's a lot of good stuff going on. I know we've harped on a few things.
Oh, yeah.
The Liv and Dom stuff has been
Oh.
so fucking good.
God damn, dude. Like,
Bishop, what do you think about the Liv and Dom stuff that's been going on?
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect because Dom has no clue how to react because Liv is unhinged, trying to take over everything that Rhea owned. So as much as it's about Liv and Dom, it's more about Liv and Rhea. And the fact that Dom looks so scatterbrained is awesome because he usually has everything under control because mommy says so. But now that mommy can't say so and she's calling him daddy, it's amazing.
and
It's amazing. Yeah.
Finn Balor in the side of this has been shady as fuck. I love
like
it.
he's the one pulling all the strings. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. But it gives, give Dom more fucking credit for being really good at his job. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I love
Dude
it.
hit the
I love
ground
it.
fucking sprinting.
Mhm.
You know, it's pretty much the day he turned on his dad, he can barely get a word out to cut a promo on a mic if it isn't a backstage segment. Like, dude's got heat just by existing, and that's rare.
Yeah, 1000%.
Wow, we're agreeing, Bishop. Hell must be freezing over.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I think
That's
we
twice in a
need to
row,
take-
too.
Yeah.
Drew and Dom.
Oh.
I'll just say AEW sucks, and I might come on a Thursday night chaser.
Shit. We've been saying that since I took over, at least.
Yeah.
When has AEW been good? Come on now.
Our stand-
AEW is in such a
you
bad
still watch?
spot.
Do I still watch?
I said you still watch. I know you still watch. You
Not
can't
really.
stop watching. You watch.
Not
I know
really.
you watch.
No.
All right, go on the cruise again and tell me how the cruise is.
Well, I'm actually probably not, but
yeah.
I haven't
Cruise is
paid. I
different.
haven't paid anything, so lately. So
What's up with Ricky Starks? Why is he not on TV?
well,
You
I have
got inside info. Just spill it. Nobody's
Yeah,
watching.
I've got. Yeah, so tomorrow when it comes out on, I don't know, like all of a sudden, I don't know, like Cornette or somebody wants to say something, then. But yes, no. So apparently, rumor has it, even though yes, Tony Khan did kind of say you kind of were future endeavored and we'd love to have you back, but he's still technically under contract till the end of this month. Tony Khan has no plans on using him, and he has no plans on going back. So right now, he there's 2 schools of thought that are going out there right now. Is around SummerSlam. It's kind of what everyone is looking at. Part of it because he doesn't want to rain on Ethan Page's parade, because they're all part of that Team Cody kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a part of it. Another part of it too was he actually was entertaining 2 offers from Japan. One, he was kind of like, oh, I don't know, but
didn't Noah throw some money his way?
Yep, it was Noah and New Japan. Both of them.
Okay, because Noah is a direct line to WWE because they're starting that kickover. You guys didn't know they're sending over the OC to Noah. And they're sending a couple of the ladies over there to that other promotion, Marigold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
probably best for him, honestly, to do Japan first.
Exactly. That's what I told him. Like, I've been thinking that he should go to Japan because right now, like the true, they don't really have a true gaijin really anymore. Because Zack Sabre Jr. technically is not. Yeah, he's not on contract. Hikuleo's not technically on contract, but he's not one of those main players anyway, because they really don't have a main player.
He could also refine himself too, though. I mean, he doesn't have to work on character building. He can work on getting back to being more of a technician
Yeah.
like it used to be. But like everything it seemed like I was seeing him do in AW or clips and stuff is about how to get over character wise. And that's something he can develop later once he gets back in the ringing.
And the bitch part about AEW when it came to Ricky Starks is that he would get some momentum, he would get some heat, he'd be starting to go and then cut. And you can only start and stop that momentum for so long before people are like, why the fuck do I care? You know,
well, because they tell incomplete stories.
Yeah,
that's like true. Like even when, I mean, Cameron Grimes had the same thing in NXT. It was start and stop, but at the end of every stop was the finish of the story. Whether it was with Dexter Lumis or LA Knight, like it was a finish of a story, and then okay, here we go. You know, so at least you had a moment to invest at some point.
Yeah,
so,
you had no.
There was a payoff.
There was
a payoff. Exactly.
The only payoff, the last one was
for Ricky.
Yeah, the last one was to Sting. That's what the payoff was. It wasn't for Ricky. Ricky never gets the payoff. Whoever it ends up being does. Now the Danielson thing, it was great because there was so much you could build off of it, and Danielson was willing, but that just went, as things do over there. So it'll be very, very interesting. There was grumblings that he was going to show up in that battle royal this week, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't see him because I do know he was in Orlando this week, so that's why I was like, don't. But no.
I hope the best for the guy. You know, I think he's incredibly talented. He needs polish. I agree. He needs to go to Japan. I said that last year.
Mm-hmm. No, you were saying NXT.
And when he's eyeing WWE, obviously he wants the money, right?
I honestly, I don't know really if it's the money thing. I think it's because he, in his own mindset, he thinks that he is the greatest thing. This is his downfall too with himself. Mm-hmm. Is he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, which is great because you should have an ego when it comes to these things. But the reality of it is, and this is what happened with him pre-AEW, is you're depending upon other people to help get you where you need to go, when it's not about that. It's like you need to do it yourself because honestly, you can't depend on Cody Rhodes. And if I were Cody, and I'm surprised he hasn't said it, like, man, you got to stop, you got to do shit on your own, and
him going to Japan and hitting the Joshis, that's going to harden that shit up real fucking quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he should.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it before. He was with DDT. He was very successful over there. And I think that his style, if it goes back to what he was doing and just adds these extra little elements, it would be perfect because they need something like that because they don't have that.
Hey, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of this WWE TNA crossover business that's happening?
I think the prohibitive portal is the greatest thing since the Forbidden Door. No. I think all things treated well, where both sides get a chance to look good, is when things like this make sense. When we saw Jordynne Grace in the Royal Rumble, she had an outstanding performance, and then the next day when you look at eliminations, you go, "Holy shit, she didn't have any eliminations." They didn't put her over any other talent, yet they still allowed her to get over, and then treating both sides with respect at the same time. That's all you can ask for. So I love it. I think it's fantastic. And if it breathes to a extremely positive relationship, that there's a chance that in the background it's already happening, right? Like Ziggler and Dana Brooke and Ali, and how they've been treating them during this relationship, there's a chance they're already together anyway. I think I came on episode 1 and we talked about it when Sinclair did their pay-per-view deal, that they were handling this, or not Sinclair. What's the parent company of TKO?
Fuck.
What the hell is it called?
I'm Brad today.
Endeavor.
Yeah, Endeavor has the streaming platform or the infrastructure for streaming that does the WNBA and all kinds of other things that they just so happen to take TNA. But I had mentioned on episode 1 that there's a chance that helps build the WWE profile in the TKO umbrella to be more of an equal value with UFC. They ended up doing that with the Netflix deal, all good in the hood, right? But there is a chance that TNA is a part of the TKO group in some way, shape, or form anyway. And if they're using this as a positive relationship to help both sides look good, then yeah,
It's like,
go for it.
And I really applauded them for this because we watched the disaster of the NJPW AEW crossover that was just awkward and weird. We had NXT, we had Jordan Grace come after the title against Roxanne Perez. They run a match, some screwy shit. Tatum Paxley shows up. Ash by Elegance gets involved. So there's shit going on. Then at the pay-per-view, there's an open challenge. Paxley shows up going in. Then Ash comes in and does her thing. So there's now this intermingling of the talent going between, and it's all being, nobody's losing, like getting jobbed out, but nobody, like it's like it's touch and feel, and it's so far to me at least looking good.
Right. Well, Justin just said something in the chat.
Oh,
go ahead, Mark.
Hey, do you like to read, dude?
One of the main issues with TNA and NXT collab is how it feels that NXT isn't taking it seriously. And I think that's a good point because Jordan Grace and Roxana had a match.
Yes.
The open challenge, Roxanne should have went over and lost to Jordan. And then that could have put them both on an equal playing field. And then they can both be taken as seriously together. But honestly, Tatum Paxley's not on that level yet, right? So Jordan Grace's match is with the best of the best in NXT Women's Division. Roxanne Perez's match is with the best in TNA has to offer. But Jordan's is with the best former stalker. Like, it's just not, they're not being treated equally in that sense. But there's also a reason why, NXT outdraws TNA anyway. So
it's true.
By a lot. I don't think they should take it seriously, to be honest. I think that TNA should be groveling. No, they should. Realistically, TNA's minor league, dude. It just is. It's just not the big show. This is the third string show of WWE, and it's beating AEW's main show. And their YouTube clips do better than TNA will do all year. You know what I mean? Like, TNA isn't this massive thing that needs to be taken and elevated to this massive level. They've been around forever. They've got good talent, but there's a ceiling there. There just is. I wasn't surprised, and I'm not surprised that people like Deonna Purrazzo can come into NXT, absolutely fail, be total dog shit, and then go thrive in a place like TNA because it's a smaller pool with lesser talent. The talent in NXT is just that much better. And I only say that because I was just thinking about, where does Ricky Starks belong? And all I could think is, could he keep up with the guys in NXT?
Right.
Could he keep up with the guys in SmackDown? Could he go face to face with a Jacob Fatu and have anyone say this guy's going to take him out? Could he go face to face with LA Knight? You know what I mean? Like, we just watched Carmelo Hayes get eaten alive by LA Knight, and we used to think Carmelo Hayes was a talking. You know, Hayes is a talker, and then he can't even get 3 words out right. Someone like an LA Knight. So it's just one of those things where, like, NXT's not taking TNA seriously. Guess who also doesn't take TNA seriously? TNA. Fuck Joe Hendry.
Hey. Okay. You've never liked Joe Hendry.
He barely showed up, and I was sick of him
coming
before he even did.
No. Well, okay, so you know that TNA is not taking it seriously because you get Joe Hendry in that thing, and you get Frankie Kazarian. God love Frankie, but like Frankie is like the freaking. It's cool to see Frankie, yes, but Frankie's kind of like the consolation prize. And I've had this happen to me, at an indie show. Gonna get Malachi Black. What do I get? I got Frankie Kazarian. So, I mean, you could have brought Moose. I mean, come on now. People know Moose. He was in the Rumble, I mean,
They could have brought, Nemeth Light or the Nemeth brothers, whatever, but we get Frankie Kazarian. So that's where I'm like, not taking it too much. But
I just want the North to get back together.
It would be nice.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
That's
Just
all.
let them get back together.
That's what they need to
Because
do.
Ethan Page has a charisma issue, but when half of it is taken up by someone who looks like he can rip your fucking throat out, I think we have something. Because that's like I've always had a soft spot for Ethan Page, and then Marsh always brings me back down to reality. He's like, dude, he's not that good.
Well,
but the North version of him is good, and I think that they can. I think they can make some magic again. But I mean, Josh is a superstar on his own, so we'll see how that goes. But that's my biggest hope with the collab.
Some superstars are just not single stars. I mean, that's just what it is. Some people need a group support.
Well, it's the Ciampa Gargano of it. Ciampa by himself is way better than DIY, but Johnny's best version is in DIY. And it's the same thing with Josh and Ethan Page. Ethan Page's best version is in the North, but Josh Alexander is so fucking good.
It's true.
Yeah. It's like
we get Josh Alexander and Ciampa together and just let that happen instead.
The battle of the
other two.
What do we call that? Bald Mountain? I mean, where do we go with that?
I don't know, but I'll say
join.
that with Ethan Page, though, okay, it's like only certain people when he is a singles competitor where you see it's like, okay, this guy pretty good, but when he's in a tag team, we saw it with Men of the Year with Scorpio Sky. He's better as a tag team wrestler, and there's no shame in that. There's been some people that's just how it is, but I think that now it's sink or swim because
Pillman Jr. too. I think what Pillman Jr. is doing in NXT is like this close to dog shit. But when he was part of the Varsity Boys or whatever it was, they had a really solid flow to what they were doing. Yeah. I thought them as a tag team was pretty cool.
See, I like them.
Maybe he can get a chance at a tag team again because the Lexus King character is just not good.
Who do you think has a bigger chip on their shoulder? Any of the people who was in that Cody freeze frame that was so stupid, or WWE itself just trying to prove they can make something out of dog shit? Because they brought over some of the shit de la shit of AEW, and then they're trying to hoist it up like they're proud of it. Look at I got an F. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Well, I look at it
I turned it up to a D.
That was
right.
That was at least like a D+. Okay, come on now.
Well, if you think about it, AEW tries to recruit their legends, the guys who already have a name, and they end up turning them to dog shit. So they're like, okay,
the reverse.
These guys really make them passable. You can't even make money on Adam fucking Copeland, and you want to turn around and talk shit about our roster? Fuck
you! Couldn't diamond and dog shit. We're gonna take.
They couldn't sell out Edge's hometown.
Looks like a mirror.
No. And good luck with Wrestle Dream this year being in the Tacoma Dome. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that one, guys. Even though yes, technically it's going to be Danielson's last match, but you know what? If he's not going in there with a belt or whatnot, then that place is going to be like crickets in there.
Who should be Danielson's last match?
Swerve.
Do we know who it's going to be yet?
No, but I say Swerve.
I'd go with Swerve.
I think here's my prediction on this. And mark me if I'm going to be correct. You're going to come back and you're going to say, you know what? She was right, actually. It's that Danielson, and I'm pissed off that the final is not Shingo Takagi versus Danielson. They get the fucking first round tomorrow. That's some bullshit, is what I got to say. But
get the good stuff out of the way. That's AEW's mantra.
Yeah,
get all the good stuff out of the way.
But Shingo Takagi never really gets to come over to do New Japan in the US. It's very rarely when he does. And he's fucking, oh my God, he's a beast. Favorite fucking tag match of all time that I've ever seen in my life was Ring Conf versus Shingo Takagi and Ilya Dragunov. And the Ring Conf version obviously was Gunther and Thatcher. That was fucking, Bola 2018.
Starting to show up again on my feed.
Oh, yeah.
He's in NJPW, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
not
he's doing some stuff with MLW too, I think too.
Yeah, he's doing
Oh, okay.
MLW.
Cool.
He's been doing a lot of things. He's doing some GCW here and there.
I loved his NXT run.
He's
He
so
was
sick, dude.
Yeah.
he was so fantastic at NXT.
Mhm.
And then when he tagged him with Ciampa, fuck man, like
That was a
they were
real
Triple H should
perfect
call him and bring
together.
him back.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
How
that was
the
a real
fuck does
fucking
Gargano
tag
get a
team.
phone call and not Thatcher? Like, what the fuck?
I almost wonder if it was like, well, we called Thatcher, but nobody was home. But hey, we can drag this dead corpse for a little while longer.
Yeah,
That might be
Gargano's
possible.
going nowhere.
They're like, oh, Gargano just had a kid. Okay, yeah, they
Oh,
might
if we
be
get
in the real-
Gargano, we can bring Candace back too. You know what? It's the twofer. It was
Yeah,
a twofer. That's what it was.
You know, so when
Timmy-
somebody needs to take a pin, we've got a couple.
yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
but
yeah.
I mean, like,
Let's just
that's the opposite of buying one and getting one free in
And-
the way. You
and
know what I mean?
giving
It's like when you
indies
pop one tire, then the other one pops out. You go, ah, shit, twofer.
That's also giving Indy
Yo.
some work. So you know what? It's a 3-fer because Indy gets thrown in there. Just don't throw Dexter Loomis in it. That's just all I ask.
No,
Indy
Dexter
needs
Loomis.
to be back in NXT. She desperately needs
Yeah.
refining.
Yeah,
It's weird too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know,
because we talked about this before. There is so much that Dexter Loomis can offer, and he just couldn't figure out why. Now he shows up and he looks like a fucking monster.
All right, let's do this.
Andy's threatening to divorce him.
I thought that was long gone.
Did you
No,
fuck
it was
off with
funny.
that? Trying to like fuck off, funny my ass, dude. Indy said that, and I was like, you are trying to fucking get some heat back. Fucking, I
Yeah.
fucking muted her immediately. Like, okay,
You're
you
the
think it's
only
fucking funny.
person, Digi. You're the only person.
You're
the
right.
only one.
I
No,
like
don't-
watching. I like watching train wrecks. I think it's hilarious to
not a
watch people
train
crash
wreck.
and burn.
That's not a
I mean,
train wreck. That's just, oh God.
Look at,
Yeah.
you know, Steiner Math is by far one of these most horrible fucking promos in existence. But by God, everybody knows it. So sometimes you
wasn't
have
that
to
bad.
watch the body.
If you want a train wreck, you know what you need is the bitch maker, Kazuchika Okada. That's a fucking train wreck right now.
Oh
The
yeah,
Baker.
I've heard about
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Speaking of bitchmaker, when's Britt Baker gonna turn up in NXT? Doesn't she not wrestle in AEW for like 2 years now? That sounds about right. Okay.
I don't know what's going. I
Almost. Yeah, almost. It feels like it. It's
get my
actually-
my AEW updates on Twitter.
So what do you guys
Well-
talk about on Thursdays?
Oh, we talk about all sorts of shit. Everything.
Like
Anything.
some of these changes in the industry, like you look at
Mhm.
AEW initially was the place where the independent talent were going to kind of, you know, put a boost in their name. They've obviously dropped that fucking ball. So when we see people going over to TNA or some of the newer stuff where people like LA Knight with Eli
Yeah.
Drake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, we kind of talk about that a little bit. We go back and forth. And, you know, we shit on AEW a lot, but that's because they make it so damned easy.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Karen
Well-
Cross just tweeted out a minute ago. I've been
That's
fighting
another
Jacob
person.
Fatu for over 10 years all over the continent from east to west. Trust me when I say this. SmackDown is in deep shit. Good luck.
Yep.
Love it.
So fucking cool.
That's one person that WWE really fucking it just pisses me off that they dropped the ball on him.
He sucks.
He does
Right.
not suck.
WWE didn't drop the ball. The ball is fucking flat and doesn't work.
No, they just did not. I don't think that
Karrion
they
Cross sucks
understood.
at wrestling.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
There's
Is
other
there al-
people who suck at
Hold on,
wrestling.
is
Britt
there-
Baker's last match was September 16th, 2023.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, part of it was
Mike,
she was.
Mike,
I think.
but my question with the Karrion Cross thing is: have you ever seen his work prior to his WWE NXT runs?
Yes, I have.
No,
That's why I'm saying
And he
that.
sucks.
Okay,
Well, he was kind of Goldberg on the indies, but I actually thought his NXT run was way better than his WWE run.
that's
Yeah.
true.
NXT run I thought was sick. He had
It was.
great
It was
matches
great.
out there.
I thought
Yeah.
it sucked because
Well,
it sucks.
You're a contrarian.
Yeah. Well, it was. You know.
Well,
his
contrary to what you say, he sucks.
Bishop's like, I'm gonna Google that word and I'll be right back.
There you go. Hold on. Hold that thought. No,
He's like, I was right anyway.
well, no,
Because he
has some
sucks.
he had great matches too at Hammerstone. I've seen a
Mhm.
couple of them live myself. That
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this guy, yeah, he's got some good shit. Again, like what he said about Thought too, same thing.
They're
I mean,
they're
I know,
kind of
just
working him back to like when he was NXT, he was at least passable. You know,
Dude,
it could,
well, so all right. So my problem with him in NXT is his
Mhm.
character was this like entity, like Apocalypse from X-Men, that like he was garnering this dark strength to get his whole thing on, but then his move set was like it lacked impact and allowed for his opponents to try to sell as much as possible, but he wasn't forceful enough. So it was just like you
Right.
just can't beat a deity. But when he's on the microphone, he fucking sucks. So
he's not. That's what we don't want. We don't want him for that.
yeah, we don't
and
want
what's
him
he
to
doing
talk.
right now? What's he doing right now? He's on the
Actually,
microphone.
I
and
know,
he
but that's
sucks.
we don't want him to
I've
talk.
been wondering why don't they let Paul Ellering or Paul Ellering being the fucking mouth of the whole group, or Scarlett, she can talk.
Scarlett, I know she can. Yeah.
the thing is, I actually don't think Cross is a shitty talker inherently. He just has not had anything that fucking clicked at all since he got to the main roster. It's
No.
almost like he
Okay,
got spooked out of it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
he got fucked on his return.
I think it spooked him real bad because in NXT, I didn't even think he was cutting bad promos there. I thought he ate
His
Adam Cole
return, he
alive.
attacked Roman Reigns and dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I
So he
think
didn't
it
get fucked
spooked
on
him,
his
fucked
return.
him
He
up.
fucked himself.
Yeah.
His return, he attacks Roman Reigns and then he dropped the ball. He didn't even show that he belonged there.
Mhm.
So if you're
That's what I
not
mean.
built for that's a him problem. He's been wrestling for 15, 20 years and he's not ready. No, that's a him problem.
But is that a case of too much direction?
That's what I was thinking. I think Vince had his finger up his ass too high.
Because
Yeah.
I kind of look at it like this too, is, sometimes we put the blame on the performer not knowing what they're doing. They start up great, they're indies, they're fucking awesome, they get up to these weird ass gimmicks and we're like, what the fuck? We know you're better than this. How much of it is overproduction and how much of it's not knowing what they're doing? Like, I mean, we're never gonna know because we're not in fucking gorilla position.
Right. And
But
it's a solid argument. At first I would just say it's like a weak excuse, but it is a solid argument because you take a guy like LA Knight who had so much buzz from NWA and TNA,
mhm.
but he wasn't exactly palatable when he first showed up in NXT. He's been refined and he literally is the megastar. So
Yeah.
there's someone like that who has all the intangibles, still felt over to you guys who saw him beforehand. I didn't. NXT, I'm like, okay, this guy thinks he's bigger than he is. Then literally built himself to that standpoint. But I saw the same thing in Karrion Kross. He's being presented as bigger than what I see, and he never got himself to that level. So then he's not a person like LA Knight who thrives off that kind of direction to be the best. And that's a character flaw in him when it comes to the structure of WWE. But even when he got released after wearing the gladiator get up, did he do anything in between besides grow his hair that's impressive? Like I just
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. And it's once you go to that point, because that's the other part is when you're on TV, you get that TV gets attached to your name, that follows you. That inherently.
so
There's nothing
what's
you
he
can
going to
do
do to break out of it, right? Like me and Marsh,
about it. Right.
on every episode one possible, talked as much shit as we could on Drew McIntyre until pre-WrestleMania this year, where he really decided to take off his character into this authenticity that was just undeniable. And now Drew is still in that space where we continue to give him credit to this day. So there has to be something Karrion needs to unlock to make himself more palatable to people like me. I mean, again, you guys love him. That's fine. I just think everything he does, it literally does nothing for me. The way he's trying to present it. But
Right.
again, it could be a me thing. I think Cody still sucks, but we didn't get to that part of the show yet.
We'll get there.
But so Kerry, and I get it. He's got the tools. Like a lot of AEW has the tools, but it looks like shit. So I think he would be perfect on it. I wanted Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre before this year. I wanted them both to go to TNA. Go do TNA, figure shit out, and come back. Drew McIntyre was able to figure it out on the fly. Can Karrion Kross do that? I haven't seen it yet. Is it possible? Sure, people have done it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he can.
Yeah. I think the problem that you get with This is the problem I see with Carmelo Hayes. Love him to death. But it's just, he's going to have to work something out because you're getting destroyed out there, you know? And it's like, you got to work something out. I mean, when you put him, like, if you put him against like a Ricky right now, if you were to throw Ricky kind of in that mix of it, Ricky can survive, okay? A little bit, at least, that he's not going to drown and like, okay, because you had Carmelo built up for such a long time. And now it's like, where are you kidding me? Because I was expecting big things, and now I'm
He
kind of
didn't
like,
even get a fucking entrance tonight. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's weird.
he went from being the man push, and then they put him out there against somebody that could test the tires on that car.
Mhm.
And
No, I
he
think Carmelo is the classic NXT case.
Mm.
Can he play bigger? Right. I said that about Dragunov, right? Like,
Yeah.
Dragunov's entrance is perfect for NXT. That
Mhm.
ramp is way too long in WWE
Oh yeah,
to have that entrance to maintain that type of intensity the whole way. So he's going to have to figure out how to tailor his entrance to keep that intensity that we saw from Dragunov. Because by the time he gets to the ring, it's like, all right, dude, you swung your arms enough. Do you still have that?
really?
He still wrestles his ass off, and he proves it on that end. But how much of that Carmelo Hayes sparkle is gone because the arena is that much bigger?
Yeah.
You know, so if Carmelo can learn to play bigger the same way, because I think it was probably a problem with LA Knight. He was playing too big for a small arena in NXT. He gets
Yeah.
into that big arena, and we got all over the place.
But NWA, fifth, what was it, Marsh? Like less than
That's
100
true.
people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a really small room, you know, and
Right.
it's one side.
TNA too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no, if Carmelo can learn to play bigger, which I'm sure he will, because he's a fantastic talent. But you're right, it's not the same as it was, and he was massive in NXT.
Yeah, and it's just so, to me it's really sad because it's like, this guy, I mean, they plucked him. He was one of those indie guys that barely was starting to gain real momentum because he never left the East Coast. He never even went Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. And boom, he exploded. And then now it's like, well, shit, like what happened? I thought that's what NXT kind of was about and what they were trying to establish with a lot of these people.
And that's kind of my concern with Trick Williams, is like, is this going to be a repeat of Carmelo Hayes? They're great where they were, but can they hang on the end?
No, Trick, no. I've seen like Trick is going to be someone like at the end of the day, he's going to be like a fucking Titus O'Neil. He's going to be, you know.
I think more like
you know,
what's her name? Spanish. Gonzalez. Raquel. He's going to be more like Raquel, where his time is going to come, and if they move him too quick, crickets.
Yeah,
crickets. I mean, Whoop That Trick is always going to be over because, like we talked about on episode 1, the song is bigger than the performer. But when it comes to actual wrestling, it's going to be crickets because it's just not ready. It's not. Ready.
I'm going to read
Raquel, if
Marsh's
she was in
line.
NXT another 2 years, would be fantastic. But
you said the song is bigger than the performer, right?
Yeah.
In Marsh's head, he said, "So is Joe Hendry's."
Absolutely,
Yep.
Joe Hendry's a joke. He
Yeah.
is a joke. He's a funny meme, and that's what makes him stupid.
Dude,
to me.
he's been doing this meme since pre-pandemic, though.
And it only just now got over.
No,
He's
because it started like, I'd say it was late 2019 in that Ring of Honor kind of like bit with it. Had pandemic not happened, yeah, probably would have. But now you got to look at it. 2019 social media versus what it is now is a completely different beast. Okay, people like the stupidest shit. People will watch, I don't know, people shopping at like Dollar Tree trying to find whatever finds on Instagram all day, every day. You know, or stupid people who think they're Disney insiders and all think that, oh my God, this Tiana Bayou Adventure is the greatest thing since sliced bread, when obviously it looks like a piece of shit. So yeah, I mean, that's where it's a little, it's different.
So
now.
you agree that it's so stupid it took a dumbing down of society for it to get over.
No, society's always been dumb. The IWC has gotten dumber. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is IWC's gotten WWE.
Well,
Now, this is something that people like stupid shit. Okay, they do. Let's be real. Okay, they like stupid shit. You know.
I think it took a Billboard song
Mhm.
to get him over. It wasn't what he
Yeah.
was doing in the ring. It wasn't what he was doing in the company. It took a meme song and a niche point to make it big. That's why
Mhm.
everybody knows the song.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Yeah.
if you weren't watching TNA, and even if you did, you're like, who the fuck is this guy? The song's catchy though.
Well, if you
I hate the
also
song.
used to watch, ROH, like that guy, because this is the ROH version of the shirt. It's
Well,
the same shirt he's selling. This is just the ROH version of it. Whatever. But
What's the
point
song?
of it, the I Believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah. Say
I
his name
don't know.
appears.
It's just that over and
I
over again.
believe
Yeah.
in Joe No, it's not that over again.
It is. It's that
You-
stupid. It's almost as
okay.
bad as Adam Cole's old song in Ring of Honor.
You know what's
Uh,
even worse? Do you want to know an even worse song? Which I think
Right.
is shitty?
Mm.
Is whatever the one that Ocean Spray's using right now. Shitty. You don't need to scream your name like 50 million times. Nobody gives a fuck. Because you're not drawing ratings, asshole.
But Joe Hendry does.
Probably more so than Will Ospreay. I mean,
Well, considering they went from, now just selling their Slammiversary, it's actually had more in buy tickets than they've had in their last 4 pay-per-views combined. So I mean, something's
Yeah.
working.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
they're on NXT
AEW's and their Dynamite viewings keep plundering and plundering and plundering and plundering and plundering. And now they're
It-
trying to make excuses that, there's something, an error in that. There's no way that they only had 500,000 views. No, there is. Because the people you're pushing suck. Nobody
Oh.
wants that.
I don't
Nobody
even think
wants
it's people that they're pushing. I think it's you're giving me that look, but I'm gonna die on this hill. I think it's a shitty booker who should stay the fuck out of the back, quit pretending he's one of the boys, lay off the coke, and remember he's writing TV, not an indie fucking show.
But I'm not saying that. No, my thing is, because I agree with that 1,000%. He is a shitty booker. But the thing is, if he is pushing, he's throwing certain narratives down our throat that doesn't make money. Okay, it's not. It's like people obviously aren't liking it. Like right now, like a lot of people are torn. You just spent a long fucking time and you kept fucking pulling Swerve through the mud of he's gonna get it. Nope. Didn't get the championship. It took him too long to get it. Now he has it. 2 pay-per-views later, he has to fucking face the person who hasn't even lost yet. Everyone jobs to fucking Ocean Spray, right?
Well,
so who's gonna win this coming into there? What do you think? Because personally, me, they're probably not going to keep it on Swerve, even though that's the right move.
So who should be Daniel Bryan's last match? Isn't that where this started?
That's where it started.
Kinda. Yeah.
But
At least give Swerve something, because
And she thinks it should be Joe Hendry, apparently.
no,
I think the best last match he can have for his style would be with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah,
that's who I would pick for Daniel Bryan's last match.
Right. That.
And that's why I don't fantasy book.
Yeah.
What really should happen is he needs to have, like, personally, I think he needs to go out. Obviously, the way Sting went out on a high, which should not have happened that way, and Sting didn't want it that way. He's either got to go in as champion and gives it back to like Swerve or gives it to whatever. And the only reason why I keep saying Swerve is because Swerve is technically, when they bill him, he's from Tacoma.
No, the other side of that is why wouldn't they have, and I'm fantasy booking for us all at this point. Why not have him go against Claudio? Why not?
Yeah, that's
because who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
At this point
Now Claudio's a jobber.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't watch the product because I am so disinterested in everything.
But you
should be Wheeler Yuta, the next Rock.
Dude, Wheeler Yuta everywhere else has been really good. My understanding is AEW is he's there. He can breathe. We know that much.
Well, he came back off of injury. He looked good. He looked pretty good. So, I was actually shocked that Mox let him actually get the pin on somebody. But
Ooh.
not just saying with that. But you see, it's gotten to the point now with Tony Khan's shit that when you're not even addressing one of the big elephants in the room coming into Forbidden Door, is that you've had Jeff Cobb now he's done 4 promos basically saying, what is this shit? Moxley doesn't wrestle on any of these Japanese tours. He maybe comes to almost every other big event to defend that belt. And, they're just giving away, title matches like candy, right?
Oh.
Been very big on it. And just Tony Khan just doesn't, whatever, too busy with his Coke. But, I'm like, well, why do you even have that belt on him? I thought that Moxley was going away when, before the whole the Muffin Gate incident. Okay, that's so generic. Phil had to do it twice.
You guys can answer this better than I could, but didn't it start out that one of the key draws of AEW style was that wins and losses mattered?
They never did. That's why you had battle royals and tournaments. We've been over this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was not part of that conversation. I was just making sure I hadn't lost my mind.
No, lots of episode 1s. No. No. And then they had the
we determined that very early on when he tried to make it matter, and then started doing a bunch of battle royals.
And then he had this ranking system, and then the ranking system went away, and now again, about a month and a half ago, rankings matter again.
When?
But
month and a half ago.
Aren't they gone again?
No, they came back a month and a half ago.
Okay.
But I think
they're already gone.
Yeah.
Maybe so what I want to know is I want to know who all saw the Wyatt Sic6 debut on Raw.
I did. Absolutely.
Is it a Pop-Tart? You have a Pop-Tart, Bishop?
Is that a Bishop tart?
Graham crackers.
Graham crackers are top 5 most underrated snacks of all time. There was almost no better snack. It is perfect. What do you mean top 5?
What's the top 5 of underrated snacks?
It's in the top 5.
But no, but I'm curious.
What are your top 5?
What are the top 5?
Well, we have to do the whole top 5 now. Should we do Mount Rushmore of snacks underrated?
Yeah.
Solid list. It's a solid list.
Let's do
it. Let's see. It's
Let's compare and contrast.
This is good for the next pay-per-view people watch.
That's a solid question.
Yeah.
I think just regular peanuts. Like out of
Mm.
nowhere, like, hey, you guys got some peanuts? You know what I mean? Or just peanuts sitting on the table.
Are we talking like 5 Guys in a huge bag kind of grubbiness, or are we talking like farmer's market?
I think almost exactly that. Like, you go to 5 Guys because you want the burger, and then you realize they have peanuts there, and then once you have like 3, you're like, peanuts are awesome. You know what I mean?
Isn't that? But are they really? I don't know if they're underrated because I go to ball games and that's what you got. You get a stack of nuts. You go to 5 Guys, there's a stack of nuts. Where's the last time you saw a plate of graham crackers out?
No. I'm not saying that graham crackers aren't higher on the list than peanuts.
Because they are, clearly.
They are. They are.
With me, that's nowhere on the list because I can't eat them. So, so for me, I'm like,
are you allergic to graham or cracker?
Well, if it's cracker, you're in a lot of trouble, baby girl.
But no.
This is such a great joke.
Oh yeah.
One would think that a place like, I don't know, like fucking like Cracker Barrel, not because we're crackers in the name, but because it's kind of like.
Wouldn't that be great if Cracker Barrel sold every type of cracker?
That would
be good.
That would be fucking yay. They should in that general store. You would fucking think they would.
I mean, that's where saltines by and large were put together.
All right, so 4 others. We need 4 more.
Okay. So, because we have peanuts, we have graham crackers.
People shit on saltines too much.
Yeah.
I like saltines or even matzah. I'm not Jewish, but I love.
But that's not a snack, though.
It isn't.
No, like
do you have any? Or have you ever gotten like a box of matzah and just?
What about sunflower seeds?
I'm not.
No, that's too heavy. That's a big time snack. That's a big snack. Any ball player will tell you it's a big time snack.
Okay, but you're bringing it right to niche though. Like if you take it away from niche and you go into everyday life.
Right.
Like
you don't
any
know anyone
campfire.
who's ever played
Anyone
baseball?
who goes camping will tell you that graham crackers are awesome. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like
fucking,
I
you
can do
don't
the
take
same
it.
thing.
I'm saying it because it's by and large, there's no niche audience for graham crackers.
Yeah,
Like
anybody who's been to
There is a
prison knows don't
solo
drop the
niche
soap.
audience for graham crackers, and it's people who make s'mores. Graham crackers outside of s'mores are fucking epic. And people
Yeah.
don't realize that because they only do it with s'mores.
Cheese
A
or
la
cheese.
No, that's
only
what I'm
ball
saying.
players
People
eat
only
sunflower
associate
seeds.
it with s'mores.
And
But
people
it's so
only
much bigger
associate
than
sunflower
s'mores.
seeds with baseball games, peanuts with baseball games, and Five Guys. If you remove it from their niche, they are still amazing. That's
Yeah.
what
Right.
that's what this conversation is about.
They're
You
still
take
in
a
movie
graham
theaters. Both
We're
those. snacks.
talking about taste over gimmick.
sunflower
here.
seeds are not there. You have
They're
never
in
seen
movie
sunflower
theaters.
seeds at movie theaters. Bullshit.
But I don't
Bullshit.
think peanuts though.
I
The
have,
only
but
What
one-
Albuquerque movie theater have you been to that has
Yeah.
sunflower seeds?
They probably have
I don't
drive-ins.
even know if they have movies here.
They have drive-ins, I bet. And you could like eat them and spit them out the window. So I get that. I get
I've
that.
got a drive-in like 20 minutes down the road. I got movie theaters. You can get the sunflower
All right,
seeds. and all
one
that,
more,
but
Marsh.
Oh, dude,
You said
I
top
fucking
five.
hate you
Name
because
one.
I
Come
had
on.
the perfect snack, and then you went off on some stupid bullshit about the number one snack of all time that already exists.
Look,
But I
can
had
you manage
fucking
your
good.
memory, sir? And
Yeah,
give
what's
us
a
another
holy
snack?
grail?
Dude, I'm old and drunk.
Dude, like
I can't manage my memory.
a holy grail of like snacks, right? My personal
They're going to
my
be
personal-
obvious. I mean,
it's like I'm big into like Cheez-Its
Yeah, everyone
Cheez-Its.
is.
Because it's
I
salty, savory.
Yeah,
and
I didn't
it
bring up
hits
Cheez-Its
almost
because it's
everything.
one of the number one snacks of all time, not underrated.
right.
It can be underrated.
It's like you said, it's red
Sometimes.
vines. Like fucking, there's not just tubs of red vines everywhere you go. What the fuck?
Well,
Sometimes there's not.
not
Shit.
in my
Sometimes
area.
they're in cars dispensed from the ceiling.
They have them in cars.
Really?
Not my car. Jeez, I'd be living the life if that was happening in my car. You know?
Party on, Marsh.
We
Yeah. Like,
we just have to
You know
reel
what I
her
mean?
back. He goes to a show. Okay, show's over. Just reel Amanda back on the rope.
She's like, one of the most underrated snacks is trail mix. I'm like, fuck off.
I can't eat that shit. Come on
Has
now.
anyone ever heard of popcorn? I feel like not enough people snack
No.
on popcorn.
You know,
What do you
not
sound
enough
like to me
people
right
snack
now?
on gummy candy.
Like
Oh.
Gushers.
No. I'm talking like the Haribo different ones.
Like,
You know,
Literally
Bears.
the number one gummy candy of all time.
Yeah.
Not an underrated snack.
Underrated
Haribo gummy
snack.
bears
Cola
is the number one
bottles,
gummy candy of all time.
Okay,
but the
Really,
cola
bro?
bottles.
the
You know?
cola
Underrated?
bottles, the wax bottles.
No,
Skittles?
the gummy
Oh,
and the
Cola
Haribo
is so
bottles.
underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, M&M's underrated snack. Out of your mind.
Churro Twix. Not Twix, I mean Kit Kat. Very underrated.
Kit Kat is on a massive surge right now. They're doing all their international flavors all over the world.
No, but they're not doing churro anymore. I'm really pissed at Walmart. That's
Yeah,
the
they had
only reason I'm shopping
They had
there.
the churro flavor that was limited.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was supposed to be
limited.
permanent. No, it was going to be permanent.
No,
Now
it
they have
wasn't.
chocolate
I-
frosted donut.
Look,
Seriously. That birthday cake was supposed to be limited, and now birthday cake is everywhere.
Because
Eat
it's the
churro.
current run. They're gonna run
And
out.
Everyone has birthdays.
No.
yeah,
No.
everyone has birthdays.
Marv, it's his favorite snack is the birthday Kit Kat. He has it every day. It's
Why?
true.
Oh my God. Really? That's why he has a farting problem. Okay. He farts fucking sprinkles, colored sprinkles. Great. Him and Ricky Starks have something in common.
You pull his tongue and it's like a little beep.
Yeah. They look like those candy dots.
One
You
more,
know?
Marsh. One
Yep.
more.
One more.
I had it and you fucking burnt it, dude. I'm like fucking digging my.
We will
my asshole trying to
reconsider.
think what
Throw
was.
it out. Come on. Don't bitch
'Cause I
out
had
on us
one of
now.
these fucking amazing underrated snacks in my
Give
mind.
us an underrated snack. Argue your point. Stand on that hill.
Yeah, but I had it and it's gone because you fucking started talking peanuts like that was sunflower seeds. Growing up, all you see is sunflower seeds in California. Everyone's
Yeah.
spitting that shit everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, you go to school, it's in the fucking classroom, all on the floor. Everywhere.
Never once seen anyone eat a sunflower seed in school. Ever.
Really?
Really?
All the
I did.
fucking time in California.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I was south of the Mason-Dixon, and that was kind of a requirement in your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or
Kids
dip.
have sunflower seeds like, like people in
Yeah.
Delaware have chew.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Is Chew big up there? I think it's big up there.
It's big up here.
It's big.
Yeah, I'm
everywhere.
sorry they don't make chicken flavored sunflower seeds. I know that would be a huge hit. In
They
Delaware.
do.
They do have that.
No,
actually.
They
they
do.
do.
Yes,
they
they
do
do.
not.
I
Why
used
do you
to walk to the gas
Why you
station
keep
right
pretending you've never seen a snack in your life?
No, but no, I'm talking about chicken flavored sunflower seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen that before.
And-
I've never
And
seen
apparently you never seen popcorn or red vines neither.
that. Sometimes, yeah. No.
Oh, black olives. That was my other
That
underrated snack.
No.
I'll crack a can of black olives and just eat the whole fucking can as a snack.
Do you eat the pit or not the pit?
not pig.
Black olives,
Olives.
idiot. Those don't have pits, dude. The
Yeah,
green
they
ones
don't.
do. Fucking head up your. Everyone's here like they've never seen a snack. What's fucking going on in here?
Some of us
Give
try
me
not
lunch
to eat
over
things
here.
out of
The
cans
teacher's
when they
on the
can
other
help
side.
it.
But do you do the sliced or do you do the whole?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
No, I'll do both.
Okay. I'll agree with you on that one. That is a very underrated snack. I like.
It's
black
solid. It's solid. I used to do
Mhm.
black olives when I was a kid. Put 'em
Yeah.
on
I
my
normally end
fingers.
up with like on my pizza, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's more,
That's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more
they're
okay.
great on
side.
pizza. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
as a snack, as a standalone.
Oh no,
Give
no,
me a
I
can of black olives and say, hey, I need something to snack on for a bit. Boom.
Yeah.
You're talking like
Okay.
4 calories, tons of
Mhm.
fiber.
Yeah, give me one of those
Filling?
salami chubs, like the end of it.
Everyone fucking
That's
does
a
that.
snack.
What? You don't understand this whole conversation.
What? Not everybody does that. No.
Jesus. Amanda's
I don't
catching snack heat over here.
Right.
Amanda's all like, you know what? No one has is beef jerky.
Okay, you know what else?
Okay, so imagine snacks are wrestling. Pretend that snacks are the wrestling that you watch. That's the ones we're talking about. The stuff that no one else pays attention to. Those are the
I
kind of
got
snacks
one.
we're talking about.
Let
Yeah.
me go. Let
What's
me
the
go pull it
Ricky
out.
Starks of snacks?
Let me go pull it out.
Ricky
I'm gonna go
Stark
pull it out from my
snack.
pantry. I'm gonna pull it out.
Go get it.
Okay.
Pull out of
Pull it
her
out.
pantry. Oh god.
Let I don't think my
Holy
wife's gonna be
mackerel,
happy if I watch a woman pull it out of her pantry. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna
Dead.
say, it's gonna come back.
Mine's right there.
These Pringles, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Pringles.
Pringles,
gonna
no
take-
one. They're getting one day.
Like everybody talks about Triscuits, but I think the wasabi flavored Triscuits are completely underrated.
Oh yeah, new wasabi flavor anything is pretty fucking because they got the almonds that are wasabi and something else
Wasabi
in
almonds are
there.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Dope.
wasabi is just great like that because you can have a little or a lot and it just works.
Yeah, it blows you out either way, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a club cracker guy. As much as I love Triscuits when I was a kid, club crackers are the ones. Green
You're talking about
box.
the long ones,
The
right?
green box, yeah, the rectangles. Yep. Green box
Mhm.
rectangles, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can't just eat a fucking graham cracker in peace. We got to go 30 minutes on snacks.
Because they're
I even
fucking
muted my
acting
mic-
stupid about snacks, dude.
How often did the four of us get at the same time on the same stream? We might as well hit the rounds while we're at it.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
it's only episode 1, and it is the dive bar. And that's kind of shit.
Yeah.
happening in the dive bar.
That's awesome.
It really does.
I even
happen
muted
like
my mic so I can just fucking, you know what I mean?
it-
It's
But we
easy.
know all eyes are on you.
Dude, what is that? Pop Tart?
Yeah.
Pop Tarts? Overrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they put more filling inside the Pop Tart, I'm all about it. But like the icing is thicker than the filling, the cookies too much. Like, nah, I'm good.
Like the
I'm good on that.
strudels, the strudel Pop Tarts ones that you put in the toaster, those are fucking great. But the other ones,
Did you just walk around the term toaster strudel?
I did.
The strudel ones that end up in a toaster, whatever those are called.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Look, man, do you know when the last time I actually was able to like, find little and get those?
Dude,
It's been years. Okay.
Dude, it reminds me. I used to work in grocery stores because I was liquor distribution. I had to like stock up their shit. And
Mhm.
someone literally asked me one time, they're like, "Hey, do you know where the sugar is?" And they were standing in front of an end cap of nothing but sugar. That's what it felt like when you said, "What's that strudel thing that goes in a toaster?" You're like
it's
that.
It's almost like I just went, hey, Marsh, fuck you.
Mhm.
It's there.
Okay.
What you
All
got?
right. I had 2 of them, but one of them I'm like, it's kind of
One
foreign.
of you
so-
ate before you sat down.
No, one of them was kind of foreign, and I said, introduce that because that's like the new Japan. This one might be kind of foreign to people too, But this is very underrated. I have like 5 cans of these.
She busts out Pocky. I'm gonna flip
No,
out.
it's not Pocky. No,
Yeah.
it's those damn fucking chow mein noodles.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tell you what, that's a
Those are
fucking
great.
home run. That is
That's
a
a good one.
fucking home run
Yep.
right there. Nailed it.
That's an underrated
Absolutely
one.
nailed it.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is like one of my go-tos. Like I
Yep.
sit here,
Those are
I
That
buy
is
'em.
fantastic. That's a solid pull.
I'll tell you, if you want to be real cheap with this, okay, I buy them on Amazon. Great price.
Oh yeah, you
But-
can get a bulk.
fucking
No,
cute.
you get that big sack of them for like $3, and all you have to do is like fill the cans and fucking great. This is it. This is my thing.
She did it.
Very underrated.
She did
I
it.
did it. There you go.
Yeah,
This
she did
is
that.
Home run. That
This
is the Ricky Starks of
of
snacks.
snacks. Thank
Sure
you.
is. Sure
Thank
is.
you.
Highly underrated. Nobody really pays attention to it.
Mhm.
But when it's in front of you, pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty fucking good.
That's not
I
bad.
Now,
did
what
say
was
it.
the other one? You said you had two. Come on.
The other one, again, it's another Asian-y type of thing. Not Pocky. Little packs of fucking dried seaweed, dried nori.
Oh, I eat
That's
those all
what-
the time. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got like a bunch
Great
of them.
snack. Great
Yeah.
snack. Want something salty? Yep,
Actually,
little
those
bit
have had a big. I feel like I see them more now than I used to. Am I wrong that they're more popular
No.
than they used to be?
because they have them at
They're
Trader
a little
Joe's
bit more
now.
popular. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have it at Trader Joe's now, so it's gone like mainstream.
But you can get them
Mhm.
flavored too now. Like it used to be,
Mhm.
you get the flat packs at the Oriental grocery store, and that would be
Mhm.
it. But you can get them now flavored, salted, unsalted, all sorts of weird shit you can do now.
They have. Speaking of, if you like these, if you go to Trader Joe's, they have ones that are spicy tempura. So they have that tempura, like it's like having fried tempura shrimp or whatever,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
on the seaweed and it's got this great spicy shit. Holy shit! I wish they
That's
made a
good.
bigger bag. It's
You know,
good shit.
I used to
Mm.
eat that spicy seaweed, the dried seaweed, or not
Yeah.
seaweed, squid, dried squid, the spicy
Yeah.
dried squid.
Yeah, that's not me. No.
It was like
That's-
shredded. I used to eat that all.
I know
the
what you
time.
mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't
Yeah.
have like. I'd be
Right.
lucky if I could find a taqueria in the area I live in.
Those little like Japanese rice crackers that had the seaweed on it. Again, another underrated snack.
There we go.
They're
Mhm.
alright. I think the squid's more underrated, but whatever. Hey,
Rice
cakes.
Digi,
Rice
Yeah.
cakes are a solid. Rice cakes are a solid one too. They're kind of like the graham
Right.
cracker, just not as
Yep.
sweet, but very
The ca-
versatile. Rice
if
cakes
you
are
have-
an underrated snack.
Yeah, if you have the caramel ones, the Quaker Oats caramel,
Caramel
One-
ones are really good.
good. Better
Hey.
than having caramel corn.
What's
How
up,
good.
Marsh?
Digi, I want to know what you thought specifically of the Wyatt Six debut, because I have a feeling that it's gonna spawn a whole lot of other shit.
It might, but it's initially when I watched it, it was a high, it was a buzz. Okay, this is great. This is the expectation. I've been following it along for a good long while. So, that initial reaction was, this is fucking awesome. Okay. Because there was an expectation and it was met.
Hmm.
But after the third or the fourth and kind of mulling it over a little bit, they're going to have a hard time keeping this up. And that is my concern, is that if you set the bar but so high, you only have but so much left to go. After Monday Night Raw, and I was telling people about this because I had laughed my ass off. Somebody added to Chad Gable's Wikipedia that he was killed by the Wyatt Six by gunshot.
Mhm.
And that's great for him. It's getting him attention for not just being a dickbag. But it worries me that how do you carry on from that? Where do you go from there? I mean, there's possibilities, but
So your only hesitation is the potential fear of them dropping the ball.
Yes, much in the
Okay.
same way as Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, blah blah blah, ends up with a pay-per-view, bang, blah blah blah, wins a couple matches, hits a pay-per-view, bang, and it got to the point now that doomsday and badassness just stopped mattering.
Okay.
And if this is supposed to be this evil, sadistic fucking killers, it's kind of hard to keep that up to such a degree. So I don't know where they're going to go with it.
Amanda, what'd you think of the Wyatt Six debut?
Oh, sorry. Honestly, I'm kind of on that same road with Digi.
I think it's going to be great to see for a while because there's that nostalgia factor. But through time, that's where I wonder what's going to happen, because it can either become something that is either way off what it's supposed to be and turns, and people are going to be, well, this isn't what it was supposed to be. So there's that chance of a negative downslide with it. I don't know if they could keep it up because there's so much going on with everything else that they kind of have to do as well. Is this something that, hey, it's just, this is a temporary kind of thing. We have it, but really, how much of it is it going to really stay true to what Bray Wyatt's, his true artistic vision is? Because now you've got other people that are like involved with it. So it's great, but
And I'll add something to this. One of the biggest caveats to this is fan expectation.
Mhm.
Because everybody's expecting one last person to show up, and that's Bliss.
Mhm.
If she's not involved in it, she goes off to do other things. Not that she's not talented, not that it doesn't make any sense. But fan expectation writes her into that story.
Mhm.
And that's where the problem, I believe, is going to come into play. It's like, how many times do you go to the Hardy compound before it becomes ridiculous and stupid?
Which they did.
Yep.
So,
all right. And so that was your only issue with it, Amanda, was the potential where it goes from here?
Where does it go? And then, of course, Digi's right. The thing with Bliss, it's like, if she doesn't show, or if she's not presented in a way that the fans think that she should be, that's a recipe for disaster. Because this could be a big, big heartbreak. And, that's where I'm not confident in that, to be honest.
yeah. Like, so far as their initial presentation, it was a solid
Beautiful.
cut.
Mm-hmm.
Scene was set good. It was one shot in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It had that air of a horror movie, which is what they were going for. The masks look fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think they got the right people involved in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything, it checked all the boxes.
Hit the boxes.
And the timing was great. Everything. It's just, there's a lot of room for a lot of heartbreak. And that's where, this is where this whole social media bullshit comes in. And, one person, then it's like a domino effect. It's all one person. It's like, well, this, and all the dominoes are going to fall because, people are attached to this story in all different ways. And
even the people involved in the charactering. I mean, there's a lot of emotions wrapped up in this entire thing, probably more so than some people realize.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
Yeah. Because you've got like family emotions in that with Taylor, taking the reins and stepping into all of this, and Eric and the people that are involved had some really close ties to this internally to the person connection. And there are a lot of fans that had a very emotional connection because this was something bigger. It was leading somewhere bigger.
Yeah. It's more, I think, it's that fan expectation, because the fans, that's the biggest one, because, at the end of the day, this is something that's fulfilling for you, but you're also doing it for the fans in a way. So that's where,
like, I hope the best. I hope this is the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread, and it goes down as one of the best factions in wrestling history, bar none. I hope in my heart that's where it goes. But if I have to be realistic, I've got some internal concerns.
Mm-hmm. I'm having black olives.
Oh, just to show us, how underrated it is.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I like to put them on my fingers.
What about you, Bishop? What's your thoughts?
Three of the 5 underrated snacks have made an appearance on the show.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
God damn it, no.
So first thing I'll say is if the fans want Alexa to be part of the Wyatt Six, then they've never paid attention to the Alexa storyline. Alexa has never been a part of the Wyatt Six ever. Alexa has always given the Fiend credit for awakening something inside of her, which turned out to be the Lily character. She
Mhm.
also explained in the documentary that what happened at WrestleMania was her character turning on Bray's character. She is not a part of Wyatt's Playhouse fun at all. She is her own separate entity that was possessed by Fiend energy. She is not part of the Wyatt Six. She never was part of the Wyatt Six. In my particular guess, the sixth one is Bray. They're leaving it blank, and they'll leave it blank forever. So any expectation that Alexa will be part of this teaming of it is completely off base in fantasy booking that doesn't even have strings attached. So could Alexa go back to Alexa's Playground version because the Fiend energy is now split off into these 5 characters? Sure. But her particular attachment to the Fiend has nothing to do with the Wyatt Six. That's my first thing that I'm go back in the catalog. Go back in the catalog on Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast. I broke that shit down to a fine powder so long ago because I was paying attention to everything that was happening to Alexa during the pandemic that was having her look up at the lights. And then every episode, a new piece of dread would happen to her hair. It was a slow possession, had nothing to do with, because all of these characters of the Wyatt Six are a manifestation of Bray's particular demons. Alexa's not one of those. So that's the first thing I'll say.
No, those are fair points. This is why we're
no, for sure. I feel so strongly about that because I've said that for fucking years, and I know it's a popular opinion that's out there because it's easy to connect those dots because it was right there, but it's also like the actual thing they were showing us was something different. So, everything that had to do with this, I was never ready for.
Mm-hmm.
I finally watched the Bray documentary. I had to watch it in 2 parts because I just couldn't do it.
That was a lot.
And the only parts that really made me cry again were understanding that we lost a great person. Everything that had to do with his ability to care for others just fucking crushed me. All of the wrestling stuff, I think I kind of like let go of it because I realized I'm never going to see it again. And then when I watched the second half and kind of realized that the whole documentary, as much as it paid homage to Bray, was telling us it's okay because Uncle Howdy's coming back. It was also a big advertisement for the Uncle Howdy character and what we're going to see. So I kind of left watching the documentary like feeling a little stale. I was like, oh, I'm not fully through catharsis when it comes to Bray. I still have some cleansing of my own self to do when it comes to Bray. So that type of like attachment I have to Bray and what he brought to wrestling still existed when this thing popped up. I was working, came home from work, made sure I watched it live. I saw it live, and unfortunately, when during the live cut, he missed times blowing the lamp out and pressing the button. Mm-hmm. And during all the after cuts, they fixed that, which is cool. But once he missed that, I was like, okay, it's not Bray doing this. I'm good. I'm good. I have so much respect for everyone who's trying to do this and bring this to light. But my immediate thought is they need to do one thing, end up in the ring, take all the shit off, take a bow, fucking pray hands to Bray, look up at the sky, and just walk out. This thing needs to be put to bed so quickly as an homage to Bray, then try to string this along and accidentally fuck this thing up. This is the last thing we're ever going to get from Bray.
Yeah.
The last idea he's ever going to have. And if they don't hit just one home run and walk away, it's not going to land right. It's just going to be pacified and covered up and pacified. But the second Uncle Howdy misses up a move, or Sister Abigail flubs a line, or the rambling rabbit can't ramble, like it's just, there's nowhere to go from here. And I just want them to do one thing, say goodbye and let it go. Because to me, everything that The Fiend brought to me had me crying for weeks. And I'm not a horror movie fan. To be fair, like I'm barely a wrestling fan. Like as much as I love the art form, I can go without watching it. But what Bray did to me personally when it came to investing in something I don't believe in, like that type of attachment, I'm sorry, like I appreciate what they're doing, and I know it's bigger than me and my feelings. So what they're doing and their feelings, especially his brother, like by all means, live that life. But if this doesn't end quickly, it's not going to end great. And that's my only concern. It's a big one, but that's my only concern, is that the only thing they can do from here, if they don't hit a home run, is fuck it up.
Yeah. Wow, that's 3 or 4 of us actually agreeing. What the hell?
Yeah.
All right, Marsh.
I don't like horror movie stuff in general.
Mhm.
But I always thought Fiend was really clever about stuff, and I didn't feel like much of this was clever. I felt like there was sort of like it's really cool, and I'm excited for the people involved to be able to get their grieving out in an artistic way, and I think that's dope. But there was a big part of me that goes like, this doesn't feel anything like Bray. This feels like people who think they can do what Bray did good enough, and I just don't know if that's going to sit well ultimately over the long run. So I agree. I think that it has to have an end. I don't think it's the kind of thing that can go on for a year or two. I think that you have to have a vision and a way to get out of it. I don't know what that is, obviously, and I'm excited to see where they try to go with it. But I agree with Bishop in that it's just going to take a few mess ups for people to go, this is a lame thing. Like,
Yeah.
they knocked this one out of the park, even though realistically, all the blood I thought was way overdone. And I actually thought that was really bad for it. I thought the fact you had it look like someone's brain matter splattered on the back wall. I was all like, okay, Bray never crossed that line because it was always within the confines of wrestling. He was a horror movie villain in wrestling.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we talked about when we talked, because we talked on the phone about it. And one of the first things you mentioned was that. And I was like, well, he did snap Finn's neck in like his first match. But to Marsh's point, it was in a match.
Right.
It was in a match and it was a move
Yeah.
and it finished
Yeah.
the match.
Yeah.
And it didn't kill Finn. It was a startling fucking neck jolt that fucking maybe in kayfabe gives you a concussion long enough for him to pin you, you know? But
No,
it
that's
was
fair.
a maneuver, you know? There was just way too much blood. I think the idea of everyone's talking about being murdered, I think, was just completely unnecessary. I like the concept of Bray was constantly fighting these demons, and here they are. So these should theoretically be stronger than Bray. Except the problem is Bray was unbeatable. So, like, I mean, they
Except
found ways, but
unless it was a pay-per-view or general match in general that had any sort of thing that mattered, that wasn't John Cena.
Well, I mean, they were leading to this point during the Mountain Dew match, right? Because Uncle
Yeah.
Howdy came to finish off LA Knight, and they even had the characters up and waiting. So it's not like they weren't going to get to this particular point. And Uncle Howdy's sister Abigail Bray as well. So there's a vulnerability there to show that, you know, these demons could have that power over him. Unfortunately, Bray's not here to help strengthen these characters. So to Marsh's point, and kind of what I was talking about earlier too, if they don't heighten the Bray-ness to what this is and execute on such a high fucking level, like, I'm sorry, it's just we have to. I don't want to not watch, but I also I just can't give it a pass because of where it comes from. You know, like, I don't know. It seems like just such a tricky situation to be in. And that was my first thought when I saw it all end. I was like, oh, this is cool. I like everyone who's here. I get that we didn't quite get fooled by all the QR codes that came out. It led us to exactly where we are. Everyone had the right guesses going forward. But now that it's here and that mystique is gone, well, I've said this on your show, Marsh. I said it on mine. The best part about The Fiend is no one said Bray Wyatt is dressed as The Fiend. This is The Fiend. Bray Wyatt in the Funhouse would even act like you don't want to see The Fiend. Not you don't want to see me turn into The Fiend. The way Dragunov says about the dragon, the way Finn says about the demon, right? Like, Bray never did that. There was a clear difference. This is two fucking people. When we saw the Wyatt Six come out, it's like, okay, well, Nikki's sister Abigail, Bo Dallas is, you know, Uncle Howdy. Oh, there's Dexter Loomis. Look, that's Joe Gacy. Is that Joe Gacy? Man, if that's Joe Gacy, he lost some weight. That's Eric Rowan. Like being able to land everyone's person behind the character. I'm sorry. That was the clear delineation between Bray and the Fiend. Is that you never thought that was Bray Wyatt. You always knew that was the Fiend. And that's a big problem I had too, seeing all these people do this too.
That's something even Sam Roberts has talked about, where I believe he's mentioned it on one of his pods. I think it was after Bray passed. And if not, then I apologize, because I've talked to him, and it's a story he's told me where he was backstage after one of the Fiend matches, and here comes the Fiend, and he's interviewed Bray, and he's talked to Bray, and there was, in his mind, he went, oh shit, that's the Fiend. Like that there was just this essence about him in general that was different than Bray. And I mean, the funny part is he just was like, and then like Fiend walks over towards him, and he just went, awesome job, man. And fucking said, thanks, good looking, and slapped him on the stomach. Like just old school Southern compliment. But like, yeah, there was a lot of like, oh, that's this person. Oh, they could do a good job in this, which you didn't always get with Bray. But at the same time, in the defense of that, you never questioned if it was someone else. You never saw Bray, or you never saw Fiend and didn't think Bray was underneath that mask. But there was an essence and an aura that he portrayed there that just felt different. And this feels all like, oh, these people are playing these characters, which is cool. Justin Time says you can look at the faction 2 ways. Either Bray's the 6th member spiritually, or Bray's the entity leading the faction, and they can debut a 6th member, and they're the 6 chosen people of Bray. I think that realistically, what I like is that Bray was always talking about the Wyatt 6, and he always used the number 6. And I like the idea of actually a mistranslation and being the
6.
Yeah,
I like that.
The number 6 is actually the word sick. Like it's the Wyatt, the sick people behind the Wyatt, or the sick people who
or
understand or sway him
behind him.
Yeah, the sickness. And like Bishop said, there's everything Bray did was so thoughtful. It was never accidental. Everything was very, very specific, and all of those things were things that he dealt with and he fought through. So how someone else can portray his demons post-mortem is very strange, and it makes me worried, just because I don't think I quite get why, and I know that Bishop has a theory that's not horrible. I don't know if I quite get why Dexter Loomis is Mercy. I don't know that I totally get why Eric Rowan would be Ramblin' Rabbit. If the Rambling Rabbit was an entity that was representative of Bray's inability to be concise, the idea that his early criticisms were that his promos were very rambling and confusing, and no one knew what you were talking about. Yes, it was captivating, but we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. That's not an issue that Rowan ever had. You know, being strapped with the Waylon Mercy gimmick on Dexter, I like Bishop's take on it, and I'll let him tell you. But my initial reaction was, what the fuck does Dexter Loomis have to do with Bray's swamp creature that was based off of Waylon Mercy, of previous entity that was in WWE, right? Like, he didn't take on a similar entity. So why would Dexter be doing that? Sister Abigail and Nikki, I think there's easier to blur the line there. And I think that obviously Uncle Howdy's his own entity that's always been. And Joe Gacy as Husky Harris makes a ton of sense because of the weight issue, which is always going to be a thing, right, in wrestling. But my concern is, as soon as I saw him, I went, this doesn't make sense the way that everything that Bray did made sense and made you excited when it clicked. Because you're all like, Ramblin' Rabbit, what is the Waylon, or is it Mercy the Buzzer? And all of a sudden, as it starts clicking, you go, oh my God, this is so well thought out. Where this felt like we have these characters, how do we cast them? Where Bray was like, here's these characters, how do I portray them? You know?
I think if Bray was here, sorry, did you? It just made me think off the bat, like if Bray was here, these characters would never talk. and they would
That's true.
execute the vision that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That's my first thought when you were just saying all that.
Well, to this point, we haven't actually seen much of anything in terms of them doing anything. But you're right. This is a high risk, high reward. This is either going to go yes or it's going to go bad. It has. We're talking. This better be an epic. And you're right. It does need an ending. It either needs to be a curtain call or it needs to be finishing out like whatever business needs to be finished out by these parts of his personality. Because that's essentially what it is, right?
Now, I will say, with excitement, I know everyone was saying that why isn't Alexa Bliss in here? I agree with Bishop. Not supposed to be there. But the last time we saw Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, the Fiend was taking Alexa Bliss away from Nikki. Well, if Nikki gets consumed by the demon that is Sister Abigail, now her and Alexa Bliss might have some tension to work out, right?
Or Alexa can explain to the new Sister Abigail, see, I told you he's pure. I told you
Right.
that's exactly what just got my fucking arm hairs tingling. Is like, okay, this is something that we can feed off in that way, where you can continue to have maybe Alexa turns into the Bray style of it, where she now has this fiend energy in her that is part of not leading the charge, but the explanation of these things around. Because to be honest, she was the only one associated with the Fiend, any way, shape, or form, from Randy to Daniel Bryan to Seth Rollins, for Goldberg, any of them that really understood in palatability a way of the way in which Bray Wyatt and the Fiend was operating.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think there's room to tell stories with Braun Strowman. There's tons of room to tell stories with Alexa Bliss. You can tell the stories with Randy Orton. You can even tell the story with Chad Gable. I mean, obviously he was sat there, arrow stuck in his head, Steve Martin style, and you could even say, like, why would they attack Chad Gable? Well, because this is a family, and he turned his back on family. And we don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, he can be.
That's not how families act.
There's a video. Did you see the video package tonight that they did for the Y6 debut? They did that when they recapped what happened. They went over Chad Gable, and then it blurred black and white to him abusing the Alpha Academy. So like he got treated that way because of what he did to the Alpha Academy. So there's definitely that parallel there. I mean, you picked up on that right away.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was that there's a whole thing. And then on the other side, what's Braun Strowman been saying in all of these matches? I hate bullies. I hate bullies. You won't bully. Well, then Braun Strowman might want to take on the Y6 because he perceives them as bullies. And then they might have to teach him that they're not the bullies. They're the saviors. You know what I mean? Like, you've got a lot of complex story here you could tell that's very exciting to me. And what I also on Bishop's point, yes, if these people flub their spots, that's real bad.
Yeah.
But if they don't, if they step up and in, then this becomes a whole other level for all of these players who otherwise may not have a good spot. You know what I mean? Nikki's floundered so many times.
Yeah.
This could be her go-to of, I can do this. And if she does it and lands it, perfect standing, amazing. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, this is their opportunity too. What's up, Digi?
Here's my thing, and I've been thinking about this because because Bishop was talking, I was actually paying attention. It happens.
Yeah, and I wasn't letting you talk, so you would think.
As one does here on the dive bar. So I agree going up to the point where there was the betrayal of the Fiend, right? Where Bliss betrayed the Fiend, cost him the match, and then it kind of stopped there for a bit, right? And then when we started seeing the White Rabbit gimmick was playing out, you weren't just seeing Nikki kind of going into her own headspace because she was all over the fucking place, but you were also seeing it happen with Bliss too. And that made me think a little bit. is the people are who they've already cast their parts. They're already these parts of this personality. That rather than have her, to play the best of both worlds, rather than have her, like you said, have her be the herald. Have her speak. Let her talk. Come out there. She was there. I was there in the beginning. I'll be there in the end. This is the way. And she can play that line very, very well because she's done it before.
Can you imagine her dancing up to them? Oh my God, I've heard so much about you.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And that
That's the
fucking,
way to hit this home run.
and to hit that dress, and then somebody pisses her off, and she just because she still has arguably one of the best Sister Abigails short of Bray himself.
You are 1,000% correct, sir. It looks awesome when she does it, and she.
Yeah, I wish Leon Ruff would stop doing it. I hate that shit he's doing on the indies, but it's fine. I digress. Continue, did you?
Yeah, don't worry about him. It's not like he's gonna have a career for so long anyway. It's not throwing shade when you've proven you've been a failure everywhere else you've been hired.
We all
His
can't be
wife's good at her job, so
yeah, at least
she makes enough money for both of them. He'll be all right.
She has to. I swear he's like a child tax credit.
That's good.
But yeah, it's because I can see that being a good way. That way, because you're right. Not everybody got the end story. They didn't get into like some people followed the QR codes, followed the videos, followed the website, followed the social media, really went down the rabbit hole with this and even prior.
In contrary to what Bishop said, we all picked the right clues. This one was walked through. It wasn't very clever.
No, it was.
Bray's was very clever. This was very face value.
Yeah, every single one of them was like, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Oh, it's this. Okay.
Yeah. But I also think it was a different story too, and that's where my hope is up.
That's fair.
It's this is essentially Bray's monsters run amok at this point. Because before they were puppets, they were thoughts. They appeared in a crowd, but they never really did anything. Now that he is gone, you have Uncle Howdy who's left. You have these individuals who've been set free to these parts of personality, whether they make sense or not.
Right.
They're now run amok. But it's always going to come back to one thing. It's fan expectation is set really high, and it's going to take but a half hair slip, and this is fucked. So they better have a damn good plan involved, and they better know it well, because they can't afford to fuck this up. Do I think they need to talk? I agree. No. I don't think you either have somebody like Bliss running as, an acolyte or, somebody going forward, or you have Howdy and Howdy alone. Nobody else needs to fucking talk. They all can portray their emotions and do their thing by their body movement. Joe Gacy is good at it. Dexter Loomis is good at it. Nikki Cross is good at it. These are the strengths. Rowan is very good at it. You don't need a ton of voices. You just need a focused voice.
So
tell your story there.
One thing people have complimented but also complained about Triple H is that the stories he's telling is really long.
Yes.
Is this one that could benefit from how Triple H has been telling stories if he keeps them off TV? Or because even in me saying that, I don't believe it. I want this thing wrapped up at SummerSlam. I want them to say goodbye at SummerSlam and just never come back out again. I get such this visceral reaction because of, my emotions when it comes to Bray that I don't know how far to trust this thing to go. So, but is there a creative way, like we said, like with Alexa or some other way? Because even now, again, we're talking about it. Uncle Howdy has already said more words than he did before. And all he said, we're here. We're not supposed to hear his voice. That's not what the character was. And now that we have, is this what we're trusting? And Bo Dallas got over before, right? He knows how to connect with a crowd. He's been, tasked with being over before. So, I mean, shit, he got the B team over, right?
The B squad.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. So, like, can he do this? Sure. But as much as that, like, because that doc, right? He said it like we were going to be monsters at the same time. We were in this together. I got to work with my brother. Like,
Yeah.
the thing that's missing, though, dude, like, it is your
It's your
brother,
brother.
and that's the strength. So I'm just, I'm cautious. I mean, Justin said it in the chat
Yeah.
too. We didn't say that one. He's worried about the Bray Wyatt 6, but it just debuted, so he's not trying to kill the excitement. And I agree with
Right.
that. Like, I'm just so emotionally tethered to it. Like it doesn't feel right to be so excited because I know exactly what we're not getting, and we're
Right.
not getting Bray, and that's the kicker for me.
I completely agree because that's he was not just a very genuinely heartfelt guy who did a lot of good things. He was one of the greatest minds that has ever really been in terms of wrestling with the way that he took something so
And a unique
abstract.
one, so much that again I felt like the Bray doc had something to do with trying to tell us this Uncle Howdy thing's going to be okay, right? Oh, we still have the same costume designer, we still have that writer that I hired that was working with Bray specifically, and Taylor was in on it the whole time, so this is going to be okay. I literally watched the doc and felt that afterwards. Oh, that's what you're trying to tell us, that we're in good hands because those people are still working on it. And then how does the doc end, right? With the Uncle Howdy silhouette. Like, okay, like this wasn't about Bray at all.
And I almost wonder if that's not necessarily by design, but that's by intention.
Sure.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
because they recognized that, fans were super attached to this whole thing, this whole universe that, maybe they felt they needed to put it that way.
I think
But
it was both things. I think it was that let us tell you and show you the amount of people who truly want to honor him. And then we're also going to sprinkle in why we also believe these are the right people to do so. And so I do think it was both parts where it was definitely about Bray and who he was as a person and how he impacted these people and why it's important to them. I will say that there is a part of it that to me is very reminiscent of how I've been talking about Sami Zayn for the past year or so. Is that, or even Becky Lynch the last like 2 years, there's a lot of, well, this is cool for her. You know what I mean? Like there was a
Right.
lot of Becky Lynch's stories where you go, yep, Becky Lynch is very excited that she got to hold a tag title with Lita. It was
Right.
awful. It was terrible. The matches were shit. The story was bad. The promos were terrible. And we had to suffer through it. But on the flip side, we can go, yeah, but I mean, that's so cool for Becky. And so there's a part of me that's concerned that at a certain point here, this is going to be just cool for Tyler.
Lita coming back into the WWE to do that whole program with Becky Lynch, that's my Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
I got fucking feelings about that shit. Oh, fuck's
You
sake.
know, the bad part is it's like I really hope that this is going to be short-lived. And the only reason why I say that is because I'm going to use Brody Lee as an example. When you keep going on and on, I know this is totally a different creative situation, but when you keep going on and on, after a while, it gets to the it's kind of old. And I have a feeling that this can get kind of old really quickly. And like when I saw the documentary, like I felt at the end, it was almost like, okay, like they're trying to basically pacify. I thought the ending was more, you're pacifying fans of, he still lives on and this is how he's going to live on. But at the same time, it's not the same.
It's not
because it's not him. Yeah. And, everybody, even if, Taylor was involved with it, it's like, it's not coming from all of it's not coming from his brain because you could like know and be in the conversation, but how much contribution did you have to the conversation? And that didn't look like really anything. So that's where
I think there probably was, and I'm hoping that the idea is that he felt like he knew where Bray was going, although he probably, who knows, right? But I do worry about that too, because the Brody Lee stuff has made me sick to my stomach more than a couple times. We've gone on a few tirades, and I still to this day think that them releasing a toy of his child with his dead father and pricing that higher than any other 2-pack on their entire website
Well,
fucking
sickening.
disgusting.
now it's really
And
low.
now they got the shoes, the fucking shoes. They just released Brody Lee shoes too, and it's kind of like fuck. I will say that there's a big difference between AEW profiting off of someone who died under their contract and WWE's attempt to honor someone who was such a big part for so long. Brody was only there for like 6 months before he passed away, and he didn't get a chance to do anything. So he was an unrealized potential, and that's a bummer.
Well, he was.
Um,
To be fair, you are correct, but also he was making the biggest noise at the time.
He was.
He was making more waves than anyone else at that time.
And
I'm not
would
saying it was
argue-
quality. I'm not saying it was good, but it was doing anything better than any of the TNA mashups at the time. He was having more recognized feuds and matches than Kenny Omega was at the time.
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
more
people were
important than
paying more
what
attention to
Paige
him.
was doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so when it came to like getting eyeballs, the work he was doing was grabbing more attention than anyone else at the time.
hell,
Yeah.
he made the Dark Order relevant.
Yeah, but there were only two at the time. There was only one other person that had kind of a spotlight to them, Darby Allin.
You say-
Those were the
say-
two. It was Brody Lee and Darby Allin at the time.
They're gonna
That-
fucking say Cole Cabana.
No,
Um,
hell no, you can't.
She's been on
no.
for over an hour and hasn't said his name once. It's awesome.
No.
She
I
hasn't
thought it
talked
was
about Ricky
overdue.
Stark's ass either.
No,
I mean, she meant to.
I
but-
didn't.
No, she
I
did.
know.
She talked about him farting sprinkles.
No,
That's
no,
true.
Yeah,
no, she wasn't talking about him farting sprinkles. She was talking about Marv.
right.
Yeah,
but
Marv-
she said Marv and Ricky have something in common, and that was
Oh.
farting
Yeah.
sprinkles. See, I
Party
pay attention.
Yeah.
I-
See? Now
I
I did.
tune out the rest.
I did want to say this. Someone did. There was something about John Cena and peaches. That was on Twitter, and I was like, well, yeah, of course, everyone loves John Cena's peaches. I'm like,
I hope we get a second season of Peacemaker.
Oh, we better. And a
Peachmaker.
third round. And then-
Peachmaker.
Yeah,
That's what it should be
Yeah.
called
it
now.
was sitting right
It's
there.
Peach-
It was sitting right
Peachmaker.
there.
It's always nice
Right.
to know that Marsh is
Yeah.
picking up things off the ground
Yeah.
for us.
See, Marsh and producer later totally on brand because he got me the Peacemaker Pop Funko in his underwear, so I could do it with the third round of that. So,
Mm.
just saying, just
But
Just
I do
saying.
agree with Justin in that we gotta let it cook. We gotta let it have its time. There's a lot of possibility for it to actually be a beautiful piece of work. And
But
I
you
don't think that
can't.
it's totally wrong to not be concerned about some of the things, just given what we've seen, what we know, and how we are emotionally attached to the stuff that we have seen thus far. So
well,
Less is
um,
more.
The one thing that made me kind of feel good is, ironically enough, the fan picture that they took afterwards.
Mhm.
I guess all of them were at, I guess it was Whataburger.
Yeah.
After the show, and they were all there, and they all took a picture together. And not that I would have this in question, but it really looked like the moment meant that much to them that they had to stick together afterwards. And I was like, that's really cool to see that, like, they're in this together for however long this is going to last. So
Yeah.
that gave me more comfort afterwards.
And you did not get that with the Dark Order.
No.
They were together because they kind of had to be together.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. Not that you want to be together, but you kind of had to be together.
But I mean, and that's true. A slow burn, longer storytelling. If they want to keep this going as long as possible, they like, as an example, okay, they fucked with Pat McAfee's show a little bit. They hijacked Adam Pearce's Twitter for a little bit. All this was like, I beefed up security, so nothing's gonna happen because I'm not letting it happen on my watch. And that's great. And we all went to this mind of, oh yeah, it's totally gonna happen. Nothing. Not a damn bit. And I like that because they're telling us that just because you think this is where you see them showing up doesn't mean that's where they're going to be.
Yeah.
That gave me a little bit of hope on that. That they're treating it with enough care. They're not overexposing, but they're not just ignoring it entirely.
yeah, no, I think there's a lot of possibility they could turn out great, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But it's also fun to drink and talk about what concerns you. That's the point of the old poisoning hole.
You know what
Mhm.
concerns me the most? that Marsh and I have never sat in public and had whiskey together.
Are you going to
No.
CAC?
I am not.
Idiot.
Look,
Oh,
you shut your whore mouth, sir.
He's right. No, he's right about that.
Yeah.
I
would if
got
I
my
could.
tickets finally yesterday. Dude, have you guys seen the lineup for the CAC? We'll close up the show on
No.
this. Only Flower
Yeah.
Alley Club happening in Vegas, August 29th to the 21st. Their fucking lineup is stupid. They're going to have, actually, it looks like that CAC Radio returns. I don't know what that all means yet. They're going to be
Okay.
giving an award to good old Jim Ross.
Hell yeah.
The family of Harley
Drunk
Race is
JR.
going to be there telling stories.
Oh shit.
The Dudley Boys are getting a tag team award. Kurt
Ugh.
Angle
They should.
getting the Luthez Award. Which,
Mhm.
I'll be honest, the Dudleys, I'm so fucking... This
Yeah,
could be a mess, dude. I know a few people who are going that are concerned that this is going to be a fight.
it might
Oh,
be.
with whom? With whom?
There's 2 people I know going who every time they've ever been in public with Bully, he's been an absolute loud, obnoxious piece of shit to them. And there's
He's
a little bit of
loud,
nerves there.
obnoxious piece of shit. Period.
Is one of them Vince Russo?
No.
No,
But I
because
think
that
we should invite Vince. That'd be nice.
because
Who?
he mentioned there was a little bit of heat between them. So
There's a lot more heat with the 2 that I know.
Oh.
yeah.
Let's see. There's also going to be Buff Bagwell, which is interesting. Bill Alfonso from ECW is going to be there. Funnily enough, and I'm not quite sure the connection other than the Hulk Hogan Celebrity Championship Wrestling connection, but Todd Bridges from Different Strokes is going to be there.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
And Willis isn't even in here.
David McLean, who created Glow and WoW.
Oh,
and
wow.
also Sting will be getting the Iron Mike Award. So I'm excited about it this year. Yeah.
Sting? Oh, shit. I hope
It's a long time coming for Sting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me go now. Don't make me go.
Just
go,
like Conan had Rey Mysterio. I mean, who's gonna induct these guys? You know?
Yeah.
Because you got to think about that too, right?
Yep. Someone's going to induct every single one of these people, and you got to think about who's that going to be. A lot of times it's other CAC members, obviously.
Bet you money it's going to be fucking Sting's son, Darby Allin.
No, I don't think so.
That'd be great. That'd be fucking great, just because.
Well, they gave CM Punk the award last year trying to forge a relationship with AEW. Little did they know that as soon as they announced it, CM Punk was going to have a fucking meltdown 2 days later. So the relationship with AEW has not quite clicked yet. That's what.
So did CM Punk still go?
He went.
Yeah.
Yeah, because CM Punk went there as a PR thing. He wanted to prove he was actually a nice guy.
Who inducted him?
Excuse me.
Who did induct CM Punk?
Was it Prazak? No, Prazak did him on the at the Indie Hall of Fame. Oh. Well,
find out right now.
I think it's funny that Ace did not get a job with WWE. But hi TNA, how you doing? Anyways, don't start me on that conversation.
He was inducted by Ace Steel.
Oh, he was. Oh,
yeah. So I don't think that sat well with AEW either.
Probably not.
No, probably not. No. No. Anything that Ace Steel does doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
Sting will probably get Flair to do it. Or Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat probably seems more likely, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's been on a real woe is me point.
Oh, good. This is the weekend.
That is.
This is the weekend before Labor Day weekend. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Kurt Angle's the interesting one, though.
Yeah, Kurt Angle. Yeah.
Kurt Angle's interesting because I don't know who he would pick.
Who would put him in?
Yeah,
probably JR if he's there. But then again, JR's winning the thing.
Well, yeah, someone from TNA.
Maybe.
Like, would he?
I mean,
I think it should be John Cena.
It would be nice. Ruthless aggression.
Oh no, because then Amanda's going to be running around like this.
You know who would be nice for Kurt Angle, and it's not off the table.
The Undertaker.
Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Jarrett.
Because Jeff Jarrett went in 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did.
So he's a CAC guy, and he said he loved it and had more fun than he thought he ever would.
Even with their complicated history, that they did kind of get over that, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
buried that hatchet a long time ago.
Yeah.
The other person who could, and it wouldn't make no sense, who was been at the last several years, was JBL.
Actually,
He
Jeff
could do it
Jarrett
still.
wouldn't. That's all in weekend. So no, I don't think so.
It's not over the weekend. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
big
it's
one's
the
not going to be till Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah, I know, but no.
Dynamite AEW doesn't require you to work. He can show up day of.
Yeah.
You know that.
True.
Also, if you were Jeff Jarrett, would you rather be at some lame wrestling show that no one's watching, or a badass banquet with roast beef sandwiches?
I'd be at the badass banquet with the roast beef. Yeah.
Man, that's no way to talk about your ring rats, calling them roast beef sandwiches.
Jeff
Yeah.
Jarrett probably is the best choice, though. I mean,
Yeah.
even though, because Kurt Angle's early WWE run, as great as it was, like his real contemporaries are during his TNA run.
And to be, and I'll say this, to be a fly on the wall again with Jeff Jarrett and all these people and Karen and the drinks being flowing everywhere. Oh, to be a fly on the wall.
And that's just it. Sometimes you get to be that. When I was there a couple years ago, I was in the bar and fuck. Oh my god, I can't even place it. It was actually
because you were with Roy
who
half
was
the
it?
time, more than half the time. So it's got to be someone.
About half the time I was with Roy, but Roy was fucking busy for the
Mhm.
place. But JBL, I was in a bar with JBL and he was hanging out with some of his buddies and I could overhear some of the stuff they were talking about. And that was fucking cool. But yeah, you can just go to the bar downstairs. That's all they're doing. They're just hanging out in the same hotel and bar. Like, fuck, do it.
That's why like WrestleCon used to be really good in that sense. But they now that they don't do some of the stuff, it's not the same.
It's not the same, no.
No.
But I'll talk about it when I'm back from it after August is over. But
yeah,
actually just found one more thing that we can close the show on, which would be a lot of fun, I think, for this particular crew. Rumor was out and about that Conrad Thompson said he knew for a fact that Shane McMahon had reached out to wrestlers on the AEW roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea of joining AEW. And before I tell you this secondary quote of Tony Khan being asked about it directly, before I tell you what Tony Khan said about it, what do you guys think about the idea of Shane McMahon showing up in AEW?
Well, at least we know he'll get top dollar.
It would fit.
What do you mean he would fit?
He would fit.
I see what Bishop is saying. He would fit.
He would fit. The way he promos, the way he wrestles, it would fit.
He'd be the best guy on the whole roster.
Well,
it would
here's
fit. His rabbit punches that look like they barely connect, the way he promos all disjointed and disconnected, it would fit.
Yeah.
But I think it's ludicrous.
Out as soon as he goes out there.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, it's like their bad boss, taking back the company is basically
regardless
a version of
of whatever the Tony Khan quote is.
Yeah,
Shane. Let's just say money, power, position wise, he's not going to talk to the talent about coming over there.
No.
So
not if he was serious. No.
Right.
That was my first thought too. Is when I heard Conrad said that, I was like, Conrad, what kind of clickbaity bullshit are you getting into now? Like, you've been above this for a long time, and just let the people say. And now you're trying to feed into it in a stupid way. No one's buying it. No one's believing it. You're trying to help keep AEW afloat in a scenario where it's sinking fast, and this is fucking obvious.
At best, to what Conrad's saying, this is the conversation. Hey, Edge. Hey, man, how's it going, buddy? Oh, that sucks, man. Hey, what if I came over there and wrestled you? You know what I mean? Like, same thing. Hey, Daniel Bryan, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I know, man. It's tough. I've been watching. Hey, what if I came over there and wrestled you? Ha, 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 ha. You know what I mean? Like, at best, that's what happened.
Yep.
Or it's the, hey, Edge, how fucked is that creative over there, brother? Do you miss the real promos, or, you having fun hanging out with your boy?
Yeah.
I will say I do wonder who he called, because he obviously doesn't have no friends in wrestling. He obviously has proven himself time and time again with all these guys from backstage. So in my mind, I'm all like, would it be like a Mark Henry just checking in, or a Big Show just checking in? How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. How the kids? Wouldn't it be funny if?
Well, I would imagine him and Daniel Bryan got really close during the GM manager thing, right? Like, they worked off screen together for that SmackDown period, right?
Well,
That
that
could
and their
be, and
ties to Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I could even see with knowing full well that Daniel Bryan's career is winding down. I could see him calling him and just shooting the shit about that. So you're barely wrapping it up, man, huh? You're really gonna do it? You really think you're gonna stop? You know?
Hey, what if I was your last match?
Exactly.
No.
Can you imagine if I was your last match in AEW? That'd be wild. Right?
Yeah, I would show you a real brawl out. I'll go all over the or what's that stadium stampede?
Oh,
Is that what
the
they call it?
arena. What is it? The
Anarchy.
and the arena. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually jump off the
Yeah.
arena. You've seen me do that shit before.
I'll jump off the Tacoma Dome for you.
We won't have to make it a cinematic match. I'm the cinema.
Yeah. I mean, that was my first thought too. I was like, Conrad, you're above this. You really are. Like, you don't need to be feeding into the bullshit. It just it came across like when Dave Meltzer's like, look, it really worked for that crowd. Look, it was a 6-star match because that crowd was into it. You're like, dude, you're fucking forcing it, and just let it be what it is. Tell people when it's flopping. Tell people when it's doing good. They cannot get better if everyone's stroking them off all the time, saying you're perfect every time.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, they want to be all like, look, that wasn't very good, but at the time I was trying to support my friends. You weren't supporting them then. You were letting him flounder, right? And that's, to me, that's what it felt like when Conrad said that. I was like, dude, you and I both know, all of us know Shane McMahon's not showing up to AEW. He was joking around with a friend. You're trying to get clicks and trying to pretend the AEW is a bigger deal than it is. Just isn't that big of a deal right now.
I like Shane McMahon in terms of a businessman because every business he's touched, he knows how to manage them well. I don't give a fuck about the wrestling crap. He's garbage. He's dog's ass. He needs to stay the fuck out of it. At best, he's a manager.
He's such a good wrestler.
Have you had too much to drink tonight?
Have you not seen the money come? He comes money, dude.
Uh-huh. Anywho.
No, but
he right now he's majorly invested and involved in his telecom company out of China.
No.
And with China, you got to watch and mind your P's and Q's and all that shit. He has got no wiggle room to be fucking around with a cokehead out of Florida. He just ain't.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. He's got P's, he's got Q's, and he comes money. He's a good dude.
That's true.
Yeah. And also, the cokehead from Florida is fucking paranoid as fuck. So, like, why are all these people, like, leaving?
Yeah, but his social credit score is dog shit.
Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It does to the Chinese, baby girl.
Well, whatever. That's China. Whatever. I mean, they got.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's
babies and shit, but I'm not going there. I'm saying
it's just one of those funny things when you think about it from that end, taking out the wrestling end of shit. It would be businessman's fucking suicide to do it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't make any sense, and that's what I mean. None of us believed it. I just asked all of you without hearing the Tony Khan quote, and everyone said, "Conrad, you're full of shit. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
so
Conrad
I think it fell flat.
Shit, so.
But Dave Meltzer on his radio show asked Tony Khan directly, who apparently was also on his radio show, which is astonishing. I didn't know they knew each other.
No, not at all.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh.
And this is what Tony Khan said. He said one person noted to us that there was a conversation between McMahon and an ex-WWE talent in AEW. And it was described as not a pitch to get in or anything, just two people chatting when McMahon said something to the effect of, "Can you imagine if I walked out there on Dynamite?" Not as if he was pitching anything. They said it wasn't serious, and that would explain why no key people in AEW had even heard of it before Thompson talked about it. I've never met or talked to him in my life, referring to Shane McMahon. So it's exactly what we all thought. He was dude joking in the back, and then Conrad goes, "Well, I know for a fact Shane McMahon was looking to see if he could come in." You know that for a fact.
It's like eat a dick, dude. Y'all are bored and y'all don't have anything, good to say or whatnot. And
Conrad should know by now. You never go full Meltzer.
One of the hardest things about not being successful at my podcast the way I want to is to hear shit like this, because someone who's so successful, has an audience, has reach, has the ability to broadcast, make money, and have a career off this shit. Says things to a crowd that will believe it and continue to gain followers, money, all that shit by being completely wrong. Like, to Meltzers and PW Insider, like all of them, fucking sap, all those fucking assholes that continue to be successful because they found the right business model and continue to like be wrong with no remorse, regret, or apologies. Yet I have to come up with the term terrible wrestling takes because I'm the asshole. But as you've heard me tonight, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was honest criticism and critique. But these guys say some dumb shit like that. And it's like, well, fuck it. I'll just keep making fucking $1 million a month on this and be all good. It's so disingenuous and it's fucking trash.
It's like we give you shit, Bishop. We joke. It's all friends here at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We need you on our show one day. This is very amusing to me because
I beg, and he's like, "Fucking Amanda."
No, but I have a question for this crowd. But I will say this with Bishop. It's like, agree with you 1,000%. Because here's the thing: when these people in this circle have to go and steal shit from other people, like the lesser known people who can be correct, by the way, or have that inside and that are right, when you have to go and do that, that's pretty shitty. The only person I can say that in this game, there's two people that I'm like, I've never heard anything bad, and I'm like, more people need to be like him. Number one is Sam Roberts. More people need to be like Sam.
Sam Roberts has been real good about that.
Yeah, he's always been really, really good about that. And then I would say the other person, I mean, I don't know. It's a toss-up, really, because honestly, sometimes like Houseman, it's like, yeah, he doesn't feed into the bullshit.
But he gets caught in the narrative sometimes too.
He does.
Of how that works.
Yeah,
I do feel like Houseman tries to be more honest, but when it comes to like the, but I can dip my toe over kayfabe because we're all in this together, right? Like that bugs me out so fucking much.
No, yeah, I know.
But
I
honest
think
reporting
out. Nick Houseman's, if you notice, he's gone.
Yeah. That sucks.
He was threatened a lot, and it really affected him, and he stepped away.
Yeah,
wow.
He did.
Sorry to hear that.
He didn't deserve what he got, but
no, he didn't.
Once Marsh kind of pointed out to me, he's like, dude, look at all this shit that they're putting out. They're just taking tweets and making an article to get engagement. They're not really reporting anything. And I started seeing more and more. I was like, oh, well, fuck all this. Not that I paid much attention to them anyway, but like basically all of them were doing that. And I'm like, that's like because you just said it. They take other people's shit and they do something. Take other people's
shit.
Dude, I started getting pissed when I started seeing ones that go, oh, Jim Ross said this. And I was all like, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, like
what are you 4 weeks behind on his podcast? I listen every week. Why are you so far behind if you're the guys you're supposed to be reporting the news? And if your news is what someone says in a podcast, shouldn't you keep up with it? How are you a month behind? I heard that a while ago. Like that's when I started getting upset about it.
And this is where, and I'll say this, to everyone here and those who are listening to, watching, whatever the fuck you're doing, is that, I'm tooting our own horn here. We have this potential to. Thank you. As Bishop shakes his head, we have.
It's just so on brand. It's amazing.
Tooting our own horn.
Yeah, tooting our own horn. It's a fucking fart gun. It's so on brand. Fucking peaches and a fart gun. Okay, fucking. Just saying. But we have this potential with us, and this, to change the game. Like I think of us as we're like the fucking goddamn Marsh is the fucking Brett Lauderdale of the fucking, all of this like fucking internet podcast shit. The GCW. Yeah, the fucking the owner promoter GCW. Because we are fucking kind of outlaw. But you speak truths, like we'll play in the sand.
Yeah, I do. People who got upset at me for letting even Amanda on it. Like, how dare you give her a microphone? And I was like, how dare you? She doesn't deserve one. Like,
yeah. It's like,
did
what
you
the
want
fuck
one
is your
too?
problem?
Yeah. I was like, who else do you want to have one with? Because I'll give him one too.
Because guess what? You know what? Who's telling you shit in the back? I got a lot of people telling me things that feed shit in my ear. Who's feeding shit to you? Are you trusting?
I know at one point this was Thunder Rosa's favorite show. You know what I mean? So
she's still friend of the show.
Watching. See, there you go. Yeah, I mean, but it is about being casual and having conversation. But I had to diatribe on that because at the Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast, when I do put stuff out, I just take what's on TV and talk about that. All the speculation in the back or the fantasy booking and all that shit. That's all like conversation for the ability to click. Like I don't do that. I want to watch,
You don't do
have
that,
some
no.
terrible wrestling
Yeah.
takes, like the fact that Cody sucks as champion, and we can do that another day because we're almost 3 hours in. But like
Well,
when it, but
yeah.
I can state what I see and why I have that opinion. Not
Yeah.
oh well, he doesn't do what Kenny Omega does, and that's why he sucks. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying based off what I'm looking at on TV, this is my
Yeah.
opinion. This
Yeah.
is how I'm getting to where the next thing is. Not,
Yeah.
oh, well, Shane McMahon wants to be in AEW. No, he fucking doesn't. Even if I had that opinion, I couldn't with confidence say some shit like that because I
No.
suck at lying. I don't lie because it
Right.
sucks. It's so hard to come out my mouth that way. So why would I lie?
I wouldn't
don't
even
understand.
say that. I wouldn't
It's
even
just-
say that fucking high or
It's
really
crazy.
drunk. It's
It's
creepy.
crazy.
But my thing is that, you know, Marsh and I have casually clumped, whatever. We've all casually have, you know, kind of like fantasy book stuff that actually got booked.
Oh yeah,
Right.
So-
we book shit.
Yeah, we book
Oh, yeah.
shit. So, you know, and I'm just like, you know, there's obviously in this game, there are people that are true influencers. And I will say that Single Malt Studios is a true influencer. A lot of people might not think that, but we are. And unfortunately, it is what it is. You can like us, you can not like us. I personally don't give a fuck what you think. But if people actually are out there, and there's more people besides Thunder who listen to us quite regularly, but she's like day one. I mean, seriously, there's a lot that are out there.
So- Hey, Bishop, did you see that clip that went around of Kenny Omega like just ripping into fucking Osprey and Meltzer?
Yeah. I
Like,
loved it. I loved it
that-
because it's so opposite of what the AEW fanboys say that like, and I've always had that like quiet respect for Kenny Omega because when he gets to talk for himself, you hear that he loves pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
But everything I've seen on TV, like the characters he plays, it's just like, all right, whatever. He's like he's the version of when wrestlers say, but you can't go out there and play wrestler. I think Kenny Omega plays wrestler. He is an athlete that we don't really get a chance to see in WWE. His size, the way he performs, and all that stuff, hell of an athlete. But he plays the wrestler part that if he just got honed in and polished, he would be what everyone says he is. But because I'm not a style of how he wrestles, you know. But yes, no, I did see the clip. I love those live stream clips that comes out because he's like I just said, it seems like he has a fault that he can't be dishonest. So he just answers every single question truthfully. It's fucking hysterical. Yeah.
He goes when he does his live streams, he hits a little bit of sake before he goes live.
Is that
There's
what
no
that is?
doubt. Oh yeah.
He got a bottle of Suntory whiskey given to him from fucking Japanese Bill Murray. What's his face?
He loves his Japanese whiskey, so when he gets
does.
lit, he's very honest.
And then you see Michael Nakamura sitting there laughing.
He's like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble now."
Troll. But yeah, no, I mean, it's very interesting because Kenny is to a fault. He's genuine. And I think for me, that's the big appeal for me with Kenny Omega. And for a lot of people that I know who love Kenny Omega, not because of the wrestling, it's just he's so genuine too. He loves the sport. He loves what he does. And you can't bullshit it. Like, so when you hear some of these promos that he's cutting, and now that you hear him when he streams and he's gaming, you're like, yeah, there's a bit of truth into that, and
There's
it's
a
very
disconnect
fascinating.
between when he's being himself and then when he's
And
being
the cleaner or
Yeah.
whatnot, or whatever the hell
Yeah, but I think if he was shown how to do those things polished, he'd be a lot more palatable for
I
someone
think-
like me who's a WWE fan. So
Yeah, but I think he doesn't want that. I mean, I don't think
Well,
that's his end game. So
that
I
is
mean,
Looking for
weird.
fans, it's clear.
yeah,
well, that and
Yeah.
clearly his career's done, at least in terms of getting back in the ring, unless he wants to die in the fucking ring.
yeah. Which I don't think so. I think if
I don't think
anything,
he's man enough. I'm kidding.
to die in a ring.
Come on, man.
I tell you,
Done that, you know,
Meltzer would be
whatever.
like, that's a 7-star death in the ring because it was Kenny
True.
fucking
No.
Omega.
Oh,
it's
no,
true.
it
True.
was.
8 in the
It could have
Tokyo
been.
Dome.
It could have been 8 if it was in the Tokyo Dome.
Yep.
But it was at the pearly gate, so that doesn't count. That is not the Tokyo Dome.
You know, I don't
Sorry.
always agree with Eric Bischoff on a lot of things, but I do love seeing him just take the piss right out of Meltzer just real fucking quick. So funny to me.
People
One
love
of my
that.
favorite
I mean,
quotes was when Kevin Nash tweeted out about Meltzer like a couple years ago, where they're like, "People still listen to that guy? He was the greatest mark we ever had, or the most useful idiot we ever had," is what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, one day this is I'm curious because now that she's actually debuted, she has her fucking belt. I'm curious to know what you guys think of Mercedes Moné.
I think she
when
dropped the
shows
ball.
up to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Right.
she's
Up to
dropped the
work.
ball. I came on here. I mean, it might have been episode 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mars. But I think it was on episode 1. We talked about her initial New Japan promo and how she was going to put them on the map globally on the map.
By the way,
And
guys, gals, cheers.
Cheers. She had an opportunity to change the landscape of professional wrestling for women.
Yeah.
And she completely dropped the ball. As much as she gained steam and became the first this, first that, whatever, her promos are not any better. Her in-ring work, that finisher she has, is absolute ass.
Yeah.
She has no connectivity on the finisher, so whatever that backflip DDT is, she's always like swinging her arm to try to touch the person. All she's doing is just dumping someone off her back to the side. I think had she found a way to polish her wrestling and get better on the microphone, she literally could have changed the landscape of women's wrestling. But we're getting a WWE presentation of Jade Cargill that blows everything out of the water what she's doing, and that is sad.
Got a clavish at the castle.
because she slipped on the rope, and everyone was having a problem with the ropes because they set them up wrong. But you're right. You're right, though. You're right. The presentation, though, is getting more buzz than anything Mercedes is doing. I still think Jade needs work, but I think she's looking like
far and away different.
Yeah. It's just different. So
like
Ethan Page starting to grass.
Ethan Page may not be the greatest thing in terms of wrestling, but in less than 2 weeks, he has looked more relevant in NXT than he did in his entire AEW run.
Well, we already saw him in his entire AEW run. Let's be real.
Yeah. Like
he's always a mouthpiece behind Dan Lambert. Okay, let's be real. Didn't see shit.
You ever wonder if Dan Lambert smells like flowers when you're hanging around his ass, or do you know if he's got like an air freshener?
I don't know. When he was on the Jericho cruise and I was there, I don't know. I don't think I got anywhere near him to tell you.
I mean, I feel like there's such a point if you're gonna want to have people up your ass, you gotta like air freshener, maybe wipe a little bit. I mean, there's got to be some fringe benefit, right?
Well, ask Cody Rhodes when Ricky's up there.
I will.
Yeah, I'd ask no shame that game. Like, what's it smell like up there? But no, I mean, I think with Mercedes, the only good match that she's had post WWE was that match with Kyrie she had in San Jose. That was a beautiful match. That was a wonderful match, and I'm not saying because
her
it's
match
not
with
live.
Willow was good too till she fell.
Well, yeah, that too.
And
But,
even then, she carried it through to the finish, and the ref fucked it up twice. If the ref just did his job and wasn't trying to save everybody from themselves, she was doing all the right things in it. So I think the problem is that she's capable. I think her ego shines through more than her work at this point. She's coming off as a lot of sizzle and no steak.
Yeah.
And I think that in a world where she could have elevated women's wrestling, she decided to instead try to elevate herself alone. And I think that she doesn't realize that by making her the highest paid woman doesn't actually break the glass ceiling of pay for women. It just puts more money in her pocket that she's not trickling down.
No, she needs to look at
I think we spoke a couple weeks ago, me and Marsh, the last time we talked about her. If she was to come back to WWE, where is she on the roster? And she is beneath so many in who you want to see wrestle. But hey, she's at the top of the AEW one, making her money. That's her downfall. That's her legacy now.
Yep.
Her legacy now is, I am the highest paid woman on the indies.
Yep.
People want to see these other people wrestling WWE way more than me.
Yeah.
Well, and if I may, being the first at anything doesn't mean a damn if you're first and you suck at it. It just means you were the first.
Yeah.
And that means it's going to take
Yeah.
twice as long for anybody worth the shit to reach that point.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
right
You can
now,
actually make it harder on the next person.
yeah. And
Yeah.
right now, she's like because of what Toni Storm has done with that character work that she's doing right now.
She's not even close to Toni Storm's
She's
level.
nowhere near. I mean, shit. She's basically, I'd say right now,
You
she's
know-
down where Deonna Purrazzo is. She's
My
in that-
biggest problem with where this conversation just went,
Mhm.
both of these women can wrestle, and neither one of them are wrestling.
Yes.
That's my biggest problem. Toni Storm, yes, I think she's attractive, but from the very second I've seen her wrestle, I'm like, she can wrestle.
Yes.
She's always been put in position to be character flamboyant as opposed to wrestling. I've always enjoyed her wrestling. Same thing with Sasha. I mean, she has that whole legacy thing with Bailey where they've done amazing work together. They can both fucking wrestle, and neither one of them are talked about for the wrestling. The shit that Toni Storm and Paige are doing is beneath both of their ability as athletes and women who are representation. Like, to have two women who have both admitted to being bisexual have a kiss in the ring, and no offense to the Pride community, but I saw Pride members celebrating that as if these women don't do this in their real life anyway. Like, it wasn't like a stance to take. It was a cheap pop for horny single men who don't get to see women function in a sexual way unless they pull up their phone. Like, it was placating. It was an abuse of their relationships to do stuff like that. It wasn't even in support of what was happening. Like, it's so beneath the ability of what they can perform. They don't have to do that.
Well, if you look at NXT Toni Storm before all this other weird shit, she was predominantly wrestling. Her promos were short, sweet, to the point. She was made to look like $1 million. It was the main roster pull that fucked things up for her.
Well, because she got saddled with Charlotte, and not like she did anything to lift up a character before.
Yeah.
Right. So she goes over there. Now she's doing even less of what she's really strong at. She's managed to find a niche, and she's being put in these programs where, there are some people like Athena, like Willow. I think that's pretty much your 4 right there to get attention. But very few of them, if at all, because of the way they're presented, are talked about for their wrestling skill. And all 4, Athena, Willow, going down the line, they're your 4 that in terms of women wrestling that you can have right there. You don't need any other silly shit. You just need to let them do. Don't let Sasha run around with a 10-minute fucking promo. She's lucky she can go through 3 without flubbing her shit. Keep her what she's good at.
Yeah.
She's been tough, and I think Tony's whole thing. I think that's why the problem with Tony's whole gimmick is that I'm pretty tired of it because it's not wrestling related, and
not anymore.
I liked her before she ended up in NXT UK. She was one of the few. There's only like 3 or 4 who were like I really clicked onto on the indies before they made it to even NXT. And she was one of them way back when, where I came across her on social medias, and I was like, "Whoa, this fucking girl's good." And then when she signed up with NXT UK, I was like, "Well, she's got to be their champion, right? Like, you got to be like when they announced the NXT UK Women's Championship, I thought it was the Toni Storm Championship." At this point, she's just goofing off. And,
it's sad that AEW has probably, I would say, not just with Toni, but Thunder Rosa and with Serena Deeb, Willow. I mean, they have some of probably
the best women.
Some of the best women wrestlers out there. You can even throw now Julia Hart, how she is now, not when she did the Varsity Blondes bullshit, but now, and even Sky Blue to a certain extent because she's gotten really good. Athena, they've got some of the best women over there, but it's just the bullshit that Tony Khan just does, and it just, I don't know, it just bothers me. But what I do want to mention, because we didn't have episode 1 last week, but it was Bailey's birthday.
Yeah.
So, yep,
Oh.
a lot of great women. Jessica Havoc
was yesterday.
Her birthday yesterday. A lot of great women had their birthdays. So, you know, but I wanted to shout out that, since we're talking about like some great women out there, just because that's it. Also, before I forget, I know a lot of people don't like this guy, and I don't give a fuck if you do or not, but congratulations to Flip Gordon. Him and his beautiful wife had a baby girl yesterday. So congratulations.
That's cool.
To them.
Where the fuck has he been?
He's in Mexico now. He lives in Mexico full time. He works for CMLL.
Mm.
And he was not
He was one of the ROH guys that people were trying to fantasy book him. Yeah. And he never ended up anywhere.
No, he actually had talks with WWE, but what ended up happening,
but he didn't end up anywhere.
Because
now you're going to go on this whole rant and tell me that he didn't end up anywhere.
Yeah, no. I'm not going on a whole rant. No. He just thought, and this was his stupidity, okay, is that he didn't get what he thought he should have gotten. And with AEW, Tony Khan thought he was a liability for whatever reason. I don't know why. And, you know, obviously he was friends with all those guys, still is to this day. And I think the times that he just came to like hang out, you know, like the first Double or Nothing, and then there was another show he went just hang out with everybody. Tony Khan didn't like that for whatever reason. I don't know why, because Tony Khan's a weirdo. I have no idea. He must have had some kind of like bad coke that day. I have no idea. But yeah,
maybe he still got heat with Conan. Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know. But obviously, he's not allowed. He's not entering that forbidden door. You know, so don't know what to tell you. But
I'm just glad that the dude's got a family. He's living his best life in a place he's happy with. You know,
he's totally happy. You know, and not to you know be gossipy or whatnot. I'm glad he broke up with his ex-fiance, because she was like, CUNT. Anywho,
what's that spell?
See you next Thursday.
Wow, I liked how Bishop just jumped in there before I could.
Oh, you know, hey, it's all good. So, mazel tov to that. Yes,
Mazel
and then
tov.
whatever. So yeah,
so you ready for last call?
I'm thinking last call time. Good.
I would like to ask you guys to partake in one of our little things. Is we like to go around. We like to talk about something we're thankful for. We want to see our best hubs for the wrestling world, because the IWC is toxic as fuck, and we try to put a little positivity in the world. You guys up for that? I mean, you can tell me to go fuck myself, but I figured I'd ask.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be thankful, I'd like to see you go fuck yourself.
I mean. Well, at least if you buy me dinner first, I'll make sure,
No.
See, this is why I like this friendly rivalry. Because
no, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this was pretty cool. And, being able to podcast and talk to the community is something that needs to happen more often. Life, we've talked about it a lot, especially Marsha and I over these last couple of months. Life gets in the way a lot. Mm-hmm. But when we make the time to do it, God damn it, if it ain't a good time. So being able to do this and wanting to do it more, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And cheers to Christopher Willis. He's been in the chat for a few minutes there saying what up and yeet. Then he said bye for now, so I thought I didn't understand he was leaving.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
I think he's back asking about water and eating again. He's eating off with his cousin, watching a podcast. I don't know what's going on over there, but I like that he's here.
Hey, and his cousin. Shouts to Chris and his cousin.
Yeah. The cousin. I mean, if they're having a yeet off over there.
Him and Frederick. Shout out to you. Just thank God you're not brubbing, because if you're brubbing, we'd have to kick you out.
He did that already. You missed it.
God. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, he brubbed.
And he said Ocean Spray is the Billy Goat.
That makes
Dude,
sense.
she knows where you live.
His name
is
Bill.
I know where you live, bro. What are you doing?
Bill.
Goat. Yeah, Willie. His name's Billy, and he's got little feet like goat. Little tiny little goat feet.
God.
Well,
we know Willis has been drinking.
Yes. No, he's been doing gummies probably. But anyway. Whatever you do, gummies, drink, whatever.
What
What
about you,
about-
Marsh? What are you thankful for? What's going on? What is something you're looking forward to? Give us something positive.
So CAC, I haven't been able to go. I couldn't afford going last year, and this year I can afford to go, and that's a big deal. That was actually one of the goals starting at the beginning of the year when I talked to the people that I work with. It was that I need to be able to afford to go to this by the time August hits. And the other thing was by the time I hit Albuquerque, I need to be getting paid a reasonable amount, and that's all come to fruition. And so I'm happy about that. The podcasting world is giving back a little bit.
Good, man.
I'm gonna be able to go out there and meet and drink with some people, some legends. You know, it's gonna be a good time.
We need this podcasting world to be able to get me tickets for free because places because people are. It's getting expensive, yo.
It don't love you like you love it. I'm sorry, babe.
What? I did.
Do what you did for the Jericho cruise, but instead attach yourself as a media member.
Yeah.
So call these places and get
denied.
in as a media member.
We got
We've been
denied.
turned down. We got denied.
Yeah. I've reached out to them as media members before to see what happened, and they're
No, I'm
just like,
saying
"Oh, we're all
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, even the
Everywhere
indie
you go.
shows.
Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, say, hey, I'd like to come as a media member. I'd like to come as a media member. And then you get to just send the link to the show and say, hey, I report on this stuff all the time. When I come here, I'll talk to some wrestlers and I'll go back on the show and I'll talk about it. It's just every single one. It's all you got. Just keep asking, and eventually you will.
Well, we've had conversations on episode 1 before because there's certain things that aren't fair. Let's just use that word. But that's another conversation for another day. But anyways,
Yes.
I digress.
So, Miss Amanda Jane,
Mhm.
give us something positive. Say something nice.
I will say something nice.
Say
Well,
something nice to Bishop.
I'm going to. Gosh, you didn't have to feed that. Oh my God! Now you're gonna think that he's gonna think that I'm.
This
being
is
fake.
sunburn. I'm not going to blush. All right. This is
No,
sunburn.
I
won't
know
blush.
he's not gonna blush.
And the pink makes it look more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know that because look at my purpley pink hair. It makes my skin look flesh. No, what I was gonna say, and you didn't have to prompt me, did you? Is that I think it's great that we can, even though we have such different, takes and and likes and dislikes and whatnot out there, and have a very productive and adult conversation, which I can't say that other places do that because they don't, because it gets all ugly, because at the end of the day it's all love. I totally respect everybody's opinions and whatnot, except I know you say it. I did not say those names. There was
I
one
know.
I did not say.
I know.
So yeah, but we all know
I'm very
that
proud of you.
yes, and I think it's great that we're able to have a platform such as this. So I think it's awesome. And the other positive thing I'd like to also say out there is it's funny how people can recycle like their promos and stuff and get shot down. And if anyone knows what I'm talking about, there was a certain promo with a certain Billy Goat this week with Swerve that sounded almost verbatim like something that was said to a certain hater of that Billy Goat at a New Japan show, which you can go back and watch from San Francisco, that I shot down, probably better than Swerve.
No.
Just saying. And I thought that was a great moment. So, yay. Love wrestling. Anyways, DG.
We've been working on self-growth, Bishop, you can tell.
Yes.
I have no right knowing you guys. I have no right being in the same business. I have no right knowing a lot of the people that I do now over the last 3 or 4 years. I'm grateful. I really am. Like, Bishop, you would have dismissed me as a fucking troll on the interweb straight out. I'm sure of it. I'm a dick. That's why I don't use social media. Like, Marsh has been incredibly kind to me. God knows why. And Amanda, I don't know why she tolerates me, because I say a lot of shit behind the scenes where it's horrible. But at the end of the day, we've all got something, great. We got a passion. We love what we're into in this wrestling thing. We're not bothered by the bullshit. And I'm very grateful for that I have a group of people I can work with that aren't, fucking farming content of everybody else, that aren't, they're just real people with real thoughts, real fucking feelings, that they like their wasabi peas and their snacks and shit like that. And we could talk about that for a good 20 minutes. Like, that's real. That's life. Yeah, that's my positive. Eat better snacks. Get some graham crackers.
Bird.
See, that you're not gonna hear that on any of these other podcasts. I'm telling you.
And if they do, stop stealing people's shit.
Yeah.
As Amanda used to say, you heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Get some graham crackers. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yep. I still do. Yep, still do. I still do. Still do. And if not, if you don't, and if you somehow like are thinking, hey, that sounds familiar, yeah, probably because someone stole it. That's my new phrase. Probably because someone stole it.
Oh,
I swear we're gonna make Bishop a shirt for his podcast. It's gonna be
Mhm.
Bishop brand graham crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a whole box.
Nice honey made box, except it's this.
Yeah, you got your face
Ah.
on the cookie, man. That could be a thing.
Yeah, and the little the tagline is
Top 5 underrated.
underrated.
Just have graham crackers at number 1, and then just blank lines and be like, fill the rest out yourself.
And then it says Bishop was right.
There you go. There you go.
So on brand. So on brand. See, merch. And that
Yeah.
was a shameless plug. So
Yeah.
TwoTakesPodcast.com/tees. You know what I'm
I
saying?
do love that shirt, by the way. I like that. Good color.
I don't
that's a
actually.
cool hoodie,
It's a
isn't it?
color I don't have any left of. It's all pink.
yeah, I have one.
Oh,
yeah, we got our pinks.
So I sent this last thing I'll say. I sent a picture to Marsh of a random lady in Texas wearing my T-shirt, and shouts to her. I have no clue who she is, and she has the pink T-shirt. And I was just wondering if you guys had like given away any of your T-shirts, because I swear I know every single person I sold a T-shirt to, and I have no clue who she is.
No, I
But
have
it's
mine.
awesome.
No.
no.
That's one of my PJ shirts. Yeah, no. Uh-uh. I have mine.
It was awesome.
I
Another
kinda
buddy of
feel
mine.
left
is
out of
in
the
Texas
pink
Star.
now.
Yeah, and I actually have your sticker on my laptop, my MacBook.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So when is Bishop getting a little animated person?
I got a buddy. I got a wrestling buddy in the pink tee.
Yeah,
Do you?
it does.
Yeah.
Wait, but
Yeah.
did you have Sam make stickers?
I'm not a walking guy through the thing.
Hey,
Oh, that's just Marsh. I don't have a thing like Shakes does. You know.
Well, no,
get
but
with me
probably-
sometime
That's
this
Jake's.
week.
Oh, that's getting changed. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna foot the bill to see if we can't get everybody up to date.
Mhm.
So
Wow,
like
look at that. You heard it here first.
Nah.
I'm gonna
If
foot
no
the
one's
bill
gonna
to
make-
get everybody updated.
If nobody's gonna make a bitch maker like Okada shirt, maybe I need to be on a shirt with a fucking little chibi Okada. Like, and we could be the bitch makers.
I mean,
Does Okada make bitches?
well,
Oh, that's his new thing right now.
that's
is
his new gimmick.
his new gimmick. Yeah, I loved Wednesdays. And when he cut off the acclaimed, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, bitch." Yep. Loved it.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, he does do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
waiting till he gets canceled for that.
no, why cancel him? Because I will go out on a tirade. Why are you canceling that? Why? It's like if anyone should want anything canceled, it'd be me, because you're making fun of my yellow people. So
Whoa.
yeah,
Yeah.
people gotta calm down. Okay, it's okay.
Hey, they're trying. Some of these kids are trying to cancel Eminem, and well, we're all
Well-
old enough here to know how that worked out.
No, I'm sick of this
Can't do it.
cancel bullshit. Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
I'm going to bed.
Anywho, yeah, I got a very early day tomorrow. Holy shit!
All right, March, close us out.
All right. I don't remember the outro anymore, except for
Do you want me to do it?
do you know what it is? Do it.
Okay, so guys, thank you for once again joining us on another episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks. This was a weird mashup, so I don't know what the hell to call it, but all I know is,
Fucking awesome is what you call it.
it is fucking awesome. So remember, go, hit up our merch at, wrestlingontherocks.com. You can Venmo Ref Marsh at Ref Marsh.
if you want to donate, because that's cool too. Keeps the lights on. And
WrestlingRocks.com. We got the merch.
yep, we can find, Marsh wherever, Digi wherever, me, Bishop, y'all know. So guys, join us next week for another episode 1. I don't know what day, but you know what? It happens. So guys, that's last call.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers.